Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Mosaic with TJ Randolph. I am TJ Randolph. I'm going to ask if you would go ahead and hit the like button on your way in. I would greatly appreciate it. Listen, I got to go through not the morning announcements, the church announcements. Hello, everyone. I see people are shouting out the ladies. Awesome. Awesome. I'm excited. Okay, so I got to get through the church announcements. As I do, I always shout out my firstborn nephew, Rhyan Spunk Adams. You heard him on the saxophone. That is his single Shoreline. He is he's my, you hear me call nieces and nephews. He's actually my biological nephew, my firstborn nephew. His music can be found on Spotify and Apple Music. Please follow him on Instagram at I am Spunk. Okay, so shout out to my nephew. Also, shout out to my husband and all those hard-working truck drivers toting that ass across these highways and byways up in here. Shout out to you. Stay safe. Please stay safe. We want y'all to come home. Shout out to Micki-Redd Creates, because this young lady is helping your auntie with the branding, because I know nothing about it. So she's doing my thumbnails. She's working some banners and all that kind of stuff. So shout out to Micki-Redd Creates. I appreciate her. Let's see. So y'all know what? Y'all saw the thumbnail. We going in today. I'm so excited. I can barely stand it. I'm hosting this panel of dynamic women because we're going to talk about love, marriage, and sex in the city. We're going to take it back. Some of y'all young whippersnappers don't know about what we're going to talk about today, but we're going to grow y'all. We're going to grow you. So, but here's the thing, this is a continuation of cocktails and conversations, and I think I put in the post. Ladies, grab your cosmopolitans, your sex on the beach cocktails, your mojitos, apple teenies, whatsoever it is. Grab it, because we're gonna be talking about it tonight. Now, I'm going to bring my guests up, and as I bring them up, we're gonna have them, introduce themselves, tell us about their channels, and then we're gonna dive in. All right. So I'm gonna bring them up one by one. Hey, ladies.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with Lauren since she's right next to me, and we'll just go on around.
Hey, y'all. It's Laura Melissa here. My channel, home of Lunch with Lauren and Late Night Girl Talk with Lauren and Lucky. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting on? Like, if y'all missed last week's on Saturday Girl Talk, y'all missed a great show. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. And also, I do vlogs. I work out. My page is all about transparency, authenticity, and accountability. So, that's what you can expect from me.
All right. Lucky Maree, what you
I
got?
guess I'll go next. I just started a channel like a couple days ago with encouragement by the audience. So I do co-host Girl Talk with Lauren. And I help out around here a lot with ideas and stuff, but I just started a channel that's going to be about financing and what I actually do in my life with credit trading. And I was just encouraged to have a show about my opinion. So I'm also going to be about just realness.
Yeah. So you said about your opinion. What is it gonna be called? What's it gonna be called?
You know, TT. It's in my opinion. And it's gonna talk about like real stuff that I want to talk about my way, and not really try to put on femininity or traditional because I am modern. So it's gonna be about my opinion.
Yeah, most of us are here modern with this with a sprinkle or with a sprinkling of traditional intermingled. Okay, so to my bottom left, that's you, Courtney.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Your love, my love. Okay. What is going on, people? You know who it is. This is Courtney Michelle, the Renaissance Belle. And if you don't know, of course, I go live every Wednesday at 6:30 Central Standard Time. So I try to get a little deeper than a lot of women have in the sphere. So I appreciate you guys tuning in every Wednesday. And then I do conversations where I'm in the studio with one of my childhood friends, Trey D, and we just be shooting the shit. So yeah, so subscribe, like to all the ladies on here because we all have something to say that's important.
And last but not least, we have two more panel members that we're expecting, and hopefully they will join us. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and continue mission. So we're going to, last but not least, the real Dana in the house.
Hi, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's the real Dana on YouTube, and my platform is basically about politics, current events, history, a little nerdy-ish with some sass because I'm sassy and ghetto.
Definitely sassy.
Not ghetto.
Definitely.
I love it, Dana.
Yeah.
It's a little
Okay, so
spicy.
no, very. Can you very? But you know what? I think all of us on this panel are a little spicy in our own right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, muy caliente, so we can be hot. So, better catch us on the right time of day. I'm just saying. Okay, so this is what we're doing. The reason why I want to have this panel is because you know that they Harlem just came out. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know. I heard about Harlem, but I didn't know what it was until I went to watch Dana and Lauren talk about it. I'm like, what's it? So I took it upon myself and I binged watched the whole day of the series. And then, of course, what happens? We have the reboot of Sex in the City. So then that started me thinking about, okay, all these shows over the past few years that have, girlfriends supporting one another, from ranging from, 20s all the way up to the Golden Girls, honeys, up in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. So we're going to talk about it because there are some common themes that are throughout. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to do some laughing. We might do some crying. I know I might. I got my tissue handy just in case.
I need to get mine. Shoot.
I got my tissue just in case. And I'll do my best to see the chats, but it's about to get serious. Okay, so what I decided what I wanted to do is start from the present and work backwards. So what I'm doing, I'm going to list the name of the show, when it originally aired. Tell a little bit about, or somebody who knows more about it can tell a little bit about it, give the background to the audience who may not know. And I say, especially where Harlem is concerned, maybe you or Lauren or Dana, because y'all went in, y'all grew me to that. And then what I want ladies to do when I tell you that when it was aired, I want you to say, okay, how old were you when? If you don't want to give the exact number, you can say ish. Which character in these sitcoms or movies that is more like you or you can identify with? And have you had any experiences of the clips? Because I'm going to show some clips, okay? So we're going to start with Harlem that aired in December 2021. And I must say, I'm really sad because it's breaking news today that one of the main characters in this show, her husband filed for divorce from her. And it hit the airwaves today.
Mm-hmm. Literally an hour ago.
Yeah, what are y'all thoughts about that?
Oh, so it's official.
Yeah.
Dana knew beforehand.
Right. She got the inside scoop.
It was rumors, but it's like Miss Thing didn't want to pop out no baby, or I guess it was an inside thing. She probably couldn't have it and was lying, telling him she could. And I think it's some other stuff. And he was just like, I got to go because I need a child.
I mean, that's real.
Megan's messy.
Is she?
Yes. She's been around, honey, for decades.
I've heard some stories now. Her and her sister.
Well, yeah, her sister popping babies out though. I mean, she got how many? Three or four?
Oh, I don't.
I'm gonna let y'all talk on this because I'm not that familiar with the characters. So
I'm Megan Good.
I'm more of a Golden Girlfriends type of lane. So.
But you know the actress Megan Good,
the actress
right?
Megan Good. That's who we talking about.
Yeah. But I'm saying I don't know her character enough to know which.
We talking about her real life.
Her real life. Her husband.
Oh wait. Oh shit. I'm like, who they talking? No, he didn't.
Yes, he did, girl. It's all over the blogs. You gotta go. Yes.
I'm waiting for Tasha K to do her segment on it.
Ooh, it's gonna get live. It's juicy.
You're like, I don't know the character. Yes, you do. Megan in real life.
Christian.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Well, that's what Lauren and Dana are talking about because there's some rumors that the Devon wanted children, and either she can't have them, she decided she didn't want them, or she perpetrated a fraud saying that she could have them when she couldn't. I don't know.
Allegedly.
Well, I heard that he was having problems as well with her character on the show. Now, I don't know.
I seen a blog about that.
Huh? What you say? Lucky?
No, what she just said. I seen a blog about that they said it's feedback somewhere. But a blog about that where they're saying
that would probably help. Headphones.
Who, me, or I'll get the radios. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, but I did hear because she had a sexual character. So then I'm like, no, he's not tripping because he defended how she dressed in previous panel conversations. So I didn't believe it.
Well, we'll get into it because I'm learning, I'm still considered a newlywed. So I'm learning, there's some things you can and cannot do. But I would have thought, kind of like what we were talking about yesterday, Dana, that he knows what kind of business she's in. So I would have thought that they would have had some conversations about the kind of roles, or before she took certain roles, check with hubby if he okay with it?
I don't think it's the roles, because if y'all go back, the roles that she was in, he was the producer of a lot of those. So yeah, because
That's true.
he's in the music industry. So she wasn't stupid on how to pick a husband, because he put her in on television. She was in that movie with
The wedding, it's a wedding thing.
yeah, with Robin Thicke ex-wife was the lead.
Yeah, Jump the Broom.
Yeah.
Yes. He produced that. He was one of the producers. So he's a big time producer. He's just religious, and that's fine. But she was on Drew Barry show, talk show, morning show. And she was like, yeah, in the beginning, she didn't want to have kids, and that would come up in their relationship and their marriage. And she was just always scared. She was like, but during the quarantine, I realized I do want a baby. But he filed for divorce. So it's something that's going on in there. Yeah.
Something's rotten in Denmark. Okay, so let's get to it. Something's rotten in Denmark. That's an old saying.
That's Texas.
No, that's an old saying. Okay, so the first clip is actually a trailer from the Harlem, and then we're gonna dissect it a little bit. Hold one. Hold one. Okay, Harlem trailer. Let me share my screen. Entire screen. Okay. I'm struggle streaming already. Here we go, ladies.
I decided to ask out Shayla.
Shayla? That sounds like a stripper name. Like a daytime stripper name.
Like, good morning, gentlemen. Enjoy your waffles as you walk into the pole.
Here in Harlem, being a woman in total control of her life and love.
I saw you the other night.
Really? That's weird. It's not always easy.
Guys, I'm perfectly fine.
Girl, you know we don't believe you, right?
Sprinkles in your hair.
I'm about work. I'm about career. And tomorrow I'm going to introduce myself to the new department head and make her fall in love with me.
Dr. Pruitt, I'm such a fan of your work. I've read all 3 of your books.
Camille Parks.
Can I call you back?
Yeah, that's fine, Dr. Pruitt. I'll talk to you later.
Sorry.
That is definitely Damien.
You look so good.
Girl, you messed up.
Oh, that's right. You two know each other.
Only from the entire year that we dated, Mom. I met a guy who really gets me.
You deserve a good guy.
Why is everything always about men? What about our dreams? What about what we want?
I think maybe you should go.
You sure?
Holy shit.
I think now's a good time to take a little break, don't you?
A strong black woman is resilient, independent, and capable.
Let's loosen up and have some fun, hoes.
She on one. I ain't been host since 2005. In 21st century Harlem, we sisters can be fierce, be in charge, call the shots, get what we want.
Every woman has value.
And you pay it in cash or paper.
Whoa, player, don't get comfortable.
No one says until they've had it.
You have your own place, right?
Of course.
Your finances are in order?
100%.
You let her be the boss in the bedroom?
Each and every time.
Just kidding. You can say
Okay. So let me not share anymore. Stop screen. So tell us your take on this thus far. I'm gonna defer to Lauren and Dana, and if the y'all other ladies got something to add. So what is your take? Oh, before we do that, oh no, you can tell your age now or who you can identify with or whatever if you want to.
So I love Harlem, by the way. I am more like Quinn and Camille. That's her name, right? I got them all right. Quinn and Camille. I'm more so like them, like a mixture. And my age, y'all need to know my age. I'm 31. So I feel like I fit kind of directly within the demographic of the group. And I think what makes me like the show a lot is this idea of like having a friend group. it's very few and far in between of finding women that are solid like that. So when I watch it, I aspire to have a group like that, or to, it's more of like this is attainable, like this is a thing, and it doesn't have to be a large group of women. But Quinn and Camille is me. Yeah, and when we get into detail talking about the show, I'll have more to share.
Okay. So, Dana, what are your thoughts thus far?
I like it. I'm waiting for season 2. Wait, TJ, mute yourself for a second. Let me hear something. I want to see something. Yeah, you need headsets. Because it sounds, if the echo goes away if you have on headsets as well, but I don't know if you have any. But anyway, I identify. I have a little bit. I would say Camille, because she's like quirky-ish, and I'm like that, like a little dorky, because I like history, love life, hot mess, indecisive. Probably a tap of Quinn, because when they was in the vagina steam, that's me with panties on, because I'm not putting my bare vagina on a steamer and somebody else had their vagina on it. I'm not doing that. That's for sanitary reasons. So that part of Quinn, I'm not. What's the gay girl name?
Ty.
I'm not her, not because she's gay. Well, I'm not gay, because she's A-type and I'm not A-type at all. Angie, I'm not her as far as being a bum sleeping on somebody's couch, but as being freaky and, yes, the date, all that freaky stuff. That's the part of Angie I am.
Yeah, I can never be Angie. She's too much for me. Like, just as she's very out there, very, I don't want to say loud, but I'm more reserved, a little bit more tactful, just in terms of my delivery sometimes. And Angie just don't give a fuck. She's just
that's what I'm saying. I could be loud, especially, and I'm 45, but when I was 31, 27, I was like more the
You are not 45.
Yeah.
You look good.
That's the second time you said that, because you said that on Saturday.
Because I gotta keep forgetting. I'm gonna forget again. You are not 45.
Yeah, so I could relate to what they're going through because I did it and some other stuff. so it's like, okay, it's like a reminder. But for me, that whole series, because I'm a generation above them, I see what that generation and the younger generation, how y'all operate. Like, everything is out in the open. And everything is inclusive and it's just normal, to where for my generation it was slightly different.
So is the lesbian character, is that the one that's more like when you said, which one was sleeping on the couch? That sounds more like that's the girl Angie from Girlfriends, Lynn.
Yeah, she would be considered a Lynn. So if we were to talk about parallels, I would say like Camille is obviously Joan. Lynn is Angela. Quinn is probably Tony Childs, because of this hopeless romantic, I want to be in love. And then Ty would be, because
Tony Childs ain't no hopeless romantic. That's
right. I'm like, she
don't care about love. She's finance.
Am I missing one?
Are you talking about
Tony Childs? Don't care about no love,
and she do not know your kid's name.
No, and don't care to know it.
No, at all.
So, Courtney and Lucky, did y'all watch Sex and the City?
Yes,
a little bit.
I am a huge Sex and the City fan.
Okay. So I can relate the homo characters to Sex and the City instead of Girlfriends. I never got into Girlfriends.
Oh, I love Girlfriends.
I love Girlfriends.
Yeah, no.
I do my hair curls for Joan tonight.
I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry for the echo, but I ain't got no headphones.
It's not. We'll just mute when you're talking. That's fine.
Okay. So that's what note to self. I need to get some. Okay, so let's check it. So I missed some of it. So you said the Ty is the lesbian woman, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Angie is just kind of trifling. I'm sorry. She kind of.
In what way? Because she broke.
Let me maybe not say trifling. But it's interesting to me that when you broke that you gonna say, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this job. You do whatever job pays. I mean, eventually she got there, but I'm like, no, that ain't how this thing work. Is it
The
paying?
lazy women in society that don't really want to have work ethic but want to reap the benefits is what it sounds like. Like Lynn.
Well, in Angela's no, her name is Angela. In Angie's defense, she was a recording artist, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
And she lost her contract, so she was flossing and everything, and then so she goes from being this gigantic star to being not. So
Right.
she,
It's like you're starting all over. But see, she doesn't have kids. She doesn't have any type of real responsibility. So her focus is, if I'm going to make money, I want to make money with my passion. To whereas, first of all, you live in New York City, everybody got to work and then do your passion. So it was kind of unrealistic, but because she had Quinn, who was part of the Black Boule society and had money, oh yeah, sleep on my couch, I'll help, blah, blah, blah. And it seemed like Angie was kind of taking advantage of that, because you could get a job, you in Harlem, you in Manhattan, you could get a job doing anything and still work on your passion. She just wanted solely to do her acting, and you don't get paid wanting to be an actress, so.
and she's using her girls' credit cards, her Uber account. I'm like, okay, how about no? Oh, welcome to the panel, Melissa Berrien. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for
Hey,
joining us.
hi y'all. I am
Hey.
so sorry I'm late. Sorry. I just finished my live, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, we are glad you're here, and I'm sorry for the echo. So I'm gonna every time I'm not speaking, I'm gonna mute my mic.
I don't hear an echo.
Well,
It might come back.
Yeah,
it'll come back.
if TJ is talking by herself, you don't hear it. But if I'm talking, you will hear the
I
echo.
I hear it now.
Yeah.
You're right. All
right. So when we're not talking, we got to remember to mute. So, and next time I do something like this, I'll have some headphones. I was looking like an operator a minute ago and still didn't work. So let's see. So now Camille, she's on my nerves. I'm sorry.
Aw.
She's a little bit neurotic. Just a bit.
She's a representation of the women who had a vision for their lives, and also like just wants to control it, and realizes that you can't control the direction of your life, right? She wanted the family. She already envisioned the house that her and her boo at the time would live in, how many kids they would have, what career she would have. Like all of these things were like perfectly crafted. And when one piece falls apart, it's really hard to kind of pick life back up. And the reason why I say I can relate to Camille is because like that was me at one point. I knew I wanted to be married at a certain time. I knew what kind of guy I was looking for. I knew what kind of career I would have. And when one piece of that puzzle is gone, you feel like you're scrambling. I don't know what to do. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, so yeah, she's a representation of most women who feel like they need to have every piece of their life crafted
or perfect.
And
That's
what have we
most of
learned,
us.
ladies?
I was going to ask, do y'all think that's a generational thing? So Dana, I was on Dana, right? I want to make sure. Okay, so I haven't met you yet. I'm Melissa. I'm about 3 or 4 years older than you. TJ, so all three of us are about the same age. So I'm wondering if this is an age thing, because I didn't really feel the pressure. Like if something didn't work out or whatever, I feel like nowadays, because of social media, maybe social media gets the brunt of everything to be blamed on. But anyway, I feel you, like Lauren. I feel like, yes, your age group is like, it's over. Like it's the worst thing to have to change directions. And then, but for us, we were like, okay, plan B, okay, plan C. So do you think it's a generational thing, y'all?
I mean, I would speak for myself. It may be. I had a job and I quit my job with no job, and I was like, well, we find life just finna tell me where we going, right? Like my parents at the time was like, you don't quit a job without having another job, and like they're very calculated. for me, I was just like, what you mean? Like, I'm gonna be good. Like, and I was good, right? And I did not have a plan after I quit my really good paying job with really great benefits. I was just like, I'm gonna do me, because like my health, I matter. Like, this job is gonna be here. And I think that is a generational thing for sure. So that's a really great point that you brought up.
I will agree with that because my daughter, y'all know my daughter is 27, and she did the same thing, and again, and I'm in HR. I've been HR for like 20 years. What are you doing, little girl? You don't you don't quit a job without having a job, and the best time to look for a job is when you have one.
Can I say something to that? And I kind of
Yes.
want Courtney to piggyback on this as well, because I understand what Lauren is saying. Lauren don't have kids either. I had two by the time I was 27, 31. So your way of operating in life is different when you have children, because it's a different responsibility. You have to have a job. You can't leave your job and not go and not have another one lined up. So that shift. So I could understand, I could relate to Camille in personality, but her lifestyle was never my lifestyle because I was a mother and I was a young mother. So what Lauren was doing, I don't think that's a generational thing. I just think you don't have that responsibility, so you could float around the world for a certain period of time to figure something out. So, and I kind of want to Courtney to chime in on that because I know you're a mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I agree. I had my daughter when I was 32, so a little bit later than a lot of my friends had because the ones that have children. But when I was in my 20s, when I graduated college, I literally picked up my red Mustang 98, put my stuff in there and moved to Atlanta. I didn't have any, I have no kids. I was just like, oh, I'm going. Did the same thing. I moved to LA just randomly off the strength because I didn't have anything here. And I know that, if something would have happened, I'd just move back with mom and start all over again. So
that's a good point, because in '92 I packed up my convertible Pontiac, and we hightailed it to LA, honey. I mean that thing. You so right.
So then there must be a personality aspect to that, because I'm the same way. Yeah, because I did the same thing. Like, hell, 4 years ago, we moved from Washington State. We're in Arizona now, and it was like, hey, and then everybody else around us is like, well, what happened? What was wrong? It was like, nothing. Why live somewhere you don't want to live?
And see, to me, I don't judge someone that do that, because that is such a sense of great freedom that you got to experience. I never got to experience that. Now I could do that now, but I'm really so caught up in my way of, you have to have some type of security,
Yeah.
And I wish I could have experienced that, but when you got two kids, you can't just pick up and go.
Yeah. Well, not now, but I think when you're younger, you're carefree and you don't think about, what I do now is going to affect me 10 years later.
Yep.
I was untouchable. I didn't think moving to Atlanta, moving to LA by myself as a 23, 24-year-old woman, I didn't think, oh, what if I get robbed? Oh, someone might try to kidnap me. Oh, sex trafficking. I didn't think about that. I just said, I'm going to the ATL, shouting, oh, LA, babe, I'm about to be a star.
Yep.
Didn't work out. But I had those life experiences, which, shaped me for who I am and made me fearless. And I know that because of that, I was like, man, look at you, Courtney. You did that by yourself. I see you, girl. I see you.
But back to the generational things, because when my daughter was quitting her job, and she was doing a lot of job hopping, before she got married and had, my granddaughter. And again, I think that's generational, because that's something we just didn't do, because our parents said, you want to be able to get a reference, and you don't want to, because it was a bad thing to have a whole bunch of jobs moving around. So I was trying to tell her, don't do that. And then she would just quit. I'm like, listen, if you had a job and you just up and walked away, you just wasted your time, because you can't use them as a reference.
Right.
That is a generational thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
My daughter's husband, he's in STEM, software engineer. So it's easy for them to find a job, but he
Yeah.
used to hop, and it's like we had to tell him you got to lay down some roots somewhere. So he in Facebook, and I know he ain't about to leave that company, but they're 28, 29. So that generation, they do hop from job to job. Oh, I
Girl.
don't like that person. They're treating me mean. So I don't make it. And it's just I didn't come from that, and definitely not my parents didn't come from that. So
No.
I was at one company corporate for 20 years. So
My son's
Yeah, that ain't
29.
I just want to. I was trying to
Okay,
look for a place to add in without jumping on anybody. When
No,
she said the generational thing, I think it's. I'm not sure if that's the case. I think it could be just the way that they choose to upbring. Because even from the '90s, the older people I seen in the '90s, they were at the Freaknik. They had that type of personality. So even though they had children, their children were at our grandmother's house while our mothers went out to the club. So I think it just depends on the region or how you're raised, because nowadays it's said like when you have a child your life stops. When I'm growing up, I don't know any women who had children that life stopped. So quitting a job, I think it, like Cheryl said, like it is more rebellious today to just up and do things that you just feel like doing with no direction, because most of the time we look at the older generation like y'all was doing it, nobody said nothing to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let us do it better. Or we smarter than y'all generation. So they feel like they got it all together. But then when they make those rebellious decisions and they F up, then they go back to their parents or whoever, like, hey, I need help. I need money here. I need this. And it's like you just said, like I've never, child or no child, I'm not about to stop a paycheck. And I don't have another one that's going to replace it. You got to work a week in the hole. All these things, I can't afford to do it. So unless I had a savings that was up, that was going to, substitute that, even just picking up, moving, like I ain't never been that type. I need the money. I need to know where I'm going to stay, how much this costs, a job start on this date. So I think it just depends as well, like the region, how much, you're set up, things like that. I don't think it's more like generational.
Yeah. So, like I said, and I think personality plays into it because when I moved, picked up and moved, I was on my friend's couch until I found a job because I didn't think about that. I just knew I wanted to leave.
So you was
So you were Angie.
What?
You were Angie.
She was Angie. She was Angie.
I mean, but I got a job and
She's
I
like,
moved
I
there
got
on
a
my
job.
own. Wait a minute, I wasn't a bum. But I was like, girl, I want to move to Atlanta. Let me hold that couch for a month until I find a job.
Angie had a job too. It just wasn't the best. She was she
Well,
was
no,
like
I have my own condo now.
she was a part of
We'll talk
an
about that
ensemble.
later.
She was a part of an ensemble.
Get out.
Get
That
out, girl.
paying her $100 a week.
That's a job. Don't
She
tell me
got
that.
the nanny job. She got the nanny job.
Yes.
I was gonna say that's a
God.
good point that she made as far as being set up, because I made it seem like, oh, we packed up, but mine didn't look like how Courtney's would have, because my husband was retired military. I'm a teacher, so I was teaching at the time, so it was definitely different. So if you look at both of our stories, like, oh, well, Melissa packed up, but setup was completely different. So she's right about that.
Yeah.
See, Mr. Albert says, but Freaknik is everywhere now. You ain't lying.
Yes.
Is it though?
Yes.
Okay, so
have y'all been to Freaknik though? Let's talk to people.
I've never been to
there.
Freaknik,
Okay,
but
Yes.
Freaknik.
I've been to bike
it ain't
week.
everywhere now.
I'm not
I've been
against it. I'm just saying.
I've been to bike week
You
in
been to Myrtle Beach?
yes, I've been there once. I could do stuff once. I always been to CIAA, and there was like a Freaknik in Long Beach in New York, and actually in New Jersey, Belmar Beach, but I never went there.
I think the closest thing I've been to a Freaknik, have y'all heard of like Black Ski Weekend? Have y'all heard of that?
I have.
Oh my God. I said,
oh my God. Yes.
What did I get into? It was
That's
crazy.
kind of like the Cancun jump off. That's every March. Also, it's something called Donna Shore Weekend. It's kind of like that, but it's all for lesbian
women.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go into clip 2. This is clip 2 of Harlem. Okay, this is clip 2, and I want to know if anybody can identify with this. I know I can. Okay, so here we go.
Okay. right now. Come on.
Now what? You already broke my heart once.
5 years ago, I wasn't ready to take that leap of faith until I knew that you were committed.
What happened to the sound?
Yeah, we can't hear it, TJ.
I'm
Because
not
you
gonna-
on mute.
I didn't have much back then, but everything I had, I've given you. This was supposed to be you. This was always supposed to be you.
Brought me back to you. Have you ever took something for granted? Cause you thought you would always have it. I will let it slip away, slip away. Swear I won't get in the way. I know we were meant to be, so let it go. Yeah.
So that's her man, I take it.
No, it used to be her man. The woman that was looking over is engaged to him.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, so it ain't her man yet. He pending.
No
He used
more.
to be
He
her
used to be. Yeah.
I'm talking. It seemed like who is he married to in the scene? That's what's
He's
get
not
down
married to nobody. That's the
Okay,
bride to
he's
be
single.
upstairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's single. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Honey, I'm waiting for that P Valley series to drop again, season 2.
Yeah, I can't do the beard with the wig, so no, I'm not in that conversation.
Wait, what? What?
I got you.
Pete, I got it.
I got it.
Okay. I missed it.
Yeah, no, some stuff just go too far.
Oh, you're talking about P
We're talking
Valley.
about
Oh,
Pete Valley, the
She's talking about
character.
P. Valley.
Uncle, what's his name?
I don't know.
I don't.
Uncle
I-
T? Uncle Stewart?
No.
Don't play with Uncle Stewart.
I don't. That's why I'm watching.
Me neither.
I love
Yeah,
it.
but just off the scene, if that's how the scene was, I'm gonna say sometimes it be like that. Like you don't have an ex that is single, or not married, that you feel like if ever he came back and was just ready to be whatever you wanted, that you wouldn't take him back if you weren't married. Like, would you really say, no, you're engaged? No, if you're talking about somebody you had first, okay? And you probably just waiting to hear the words come out his mouth, like, I'm going to give you everything. Come on now. She had a weak moment. Definitely kiss him. And he fine? Yes. Yes.
So has
Whatever.
anybody had an experience like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't Camille, but I was a girl in a dress.
Really?
Aww.
I know.
Oh, I don't have
I
to
was
calm
Camille.
down.
I was Camille. Sorry.
I'm the one that got away, huh? TJ said that.
I had to do it. I love you, girl. But yeah.
Lauren is Natasha from Sex and the City.
Oh, yeah, the one that got. Oh, yeah.
Wait. Which one is that? The one with the short hair?
No, Natasha's the one that got married to Big before.
And got
Oh.
Mr. Big cheated on him.
Yeah. So would you rather be the one getting cheated on or cheated with?
Neither.
With.
Neither. And it's interesting because I can say that from the point of view now. But when I was in my 30s, I'm like, because again, you feel like that's that one true love that got away for whatever reason. And if you have a chance to get him back, you don't give a damn. You're not thinking about nobody but yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then there was the side chick was born. That's where it that's where it comes from. You waiting in hope. You like, look.
I mean, everybody's a side chick. You don't think so?
No.
Yeah.
I probably was, as long as I didn't know.
It's dudes that are side chicks in their marriage and relationships.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Hold up. You
Yes,
said
they
dudes that
are.
are side chicks? Explain.
Well, the wife Most of the significant other women cheat on men just as much as men cheat on women. We just don't get caught. So when I say I'd rather be the one cheating with a man, first of all, you cheat, not me, because I'm not married and I'm not in that relationship. And you can do what you want to do because you don't, that other person don't control you. So, and she probably cheating on you anyway. And more than likely, I had you first and we broke up, but you went to that and you was missing this. So blah, 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 blah.
There it is. And there it is. And I don't need her calling my phone. So make a
And
decision.
regrettably, they always return to the scene of the crime.
Yeah. Or it's always they come back like, I understand everything now. Now when you with somebody else all happy and they want to disturb your peace. That's what it be.
That's the part right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part right there. And I think it's a conspiracy, because when you're happy, all of a sudden the devil comes in to tempt you when everything was good, and to upset the apple cart, and you're wondering, well, maybe if it'll be
Was it good though?
time.
Was it good though? Because if it was really good, nothing from the past could disrupt it and make your feelings all fluttered.
Well, that's why this whole trend, it's not really a trend, but if you notice, whenever you aren't with somebody, nobody checking for you. But the moment you get booed up, even if you don't make it public, everybody wants you. It's what is it? It's
people want what they can't have.
Thing, yeah.
Right. But even if nobody changes their relationship status on Facebook or posts the dude that they're talking to, it's like the universe knows to tap the nigga on the shoulder. Go get her. She like what?
Yeah.
Listen, because a guy that did me wrong, we were engaged, and he up, I guess my credit wasn't good enough at the time.
Oh.
And he's straight.
What credit?
Yeah.
Wow. What man is looking at your credit talking about I can't date you?
I love Courtney. Yes. Yes. And he broke up the engagement and he wouldn't talk to me ever.
Oh, he crazy.
What kind of
seriously?
I ain't never in my life.
I never.
What's your credit score? I'm gonna dump you if it ain't over 700.
But hey,
I did something like that.
And he said I had too much debt, which I had student loans, but I was paying them myself because I have, student loan forgiveness. But this Negro, he just up and he faded to black. He wouldn't talk to me. I mean, but peep game, after I got married.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing? Fine, I'm married. Goodbye.
Right.
800 Club and up. How you doing?
How he know about your debt, TJ? Is you telling the people your credit score and debt on the first date? Hey, baby.
No, we were engaged. We were okay, Willie Earl. No.
That's wait, you were engaged.
We were engaged.
I was engaged. Married and proposed to you, but your credit is too far. I can't take this.
What was his credit?
You could fix that in 6 months.
It was like 750. Exactly.
He's not even at 770.
Credit. That's
no, something else is going on.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, he lied.
That's what he went with. But he tried to circle back to the scene of the crime after I got married. Congratulations, thank you, bye.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in that scene, in that
clip, the pilot, was it? That wasn't the pilot, was it? TJ?
The pilot.
Was that the pilot guy?
It wasn't. There's more. That's him. That'll be later.
Oh, okay.
That'll be later.
She said that'll be later.
Melissa, what were you saying?
I was saying, TJ, who do you think in that clip you just played, who's in the worst position? The girl in the balcony or the girl down? Who will get over that situation first? I think the girl. I'd rather be the girl down. I don't have time. No.
Well, yeah, because again, it's obvious. If I'm in the balcony, it's obvious who he really wants.
Yes.
And why would you want to stay with somebody that don't really want you? You know what I mean? Like, even if he says, he's like, I cleaned it up, like, it was a mistake. In the back of your mind, it's like, you never really were into me. Exactly. I was only there as a replacement. Yeah. So I would rather be making good, although if I had to choose.
But a lot of women try to hold on to a man that don't want them. So that's actually a majority. Every damn woman has tried to hold on to a man that they don't want. So that ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
Many times I'm like, you don't want me? No, we just ain't working.
But please,
You
baby,
sure
please,
know?
I love
Well,
you.
Give me a little bit more time.
anybody
A little
I've
bit more
dated
time.
that was, they want me back, so I'm pretty likable. But I would rather be the girl at the bottom, but I'm not gonna say because she caught him kissing his ex that means he doesn't want her, because she's the one that got the ring, not the girl at the bottom. So sometimes in a situation, maybe that was something he had to fix out that she probably wouldn't have known. And once they got married, that was it. That's all. Because I know people who've done that. So I wouldn't just make an assumption. I would just, honestly, if I was to go on the balcony, I probably wouldn't say nothing. I would see how he moved to see if I should say something or not, because you don't want to blow up the spot, lose a man, and you throw him right back to her. Now he got to tell her all this. So it could have just been in the moment, and that's what it was. And then he could have still went and married the other girl without that ever knowing, because he's not really married to nobody. So that don't necessarily mean because I'm kissing you, because I could smash you and still go marry her, and that's all that was. It was a
That
moment.
happens a lot too.
Men do it all the
Yeah.
time.
I'm not that mature.
But he said,
I'm not.
Me neither, but
because he said, "I love you." I don't know if it was in the clip, but he said, "I love you." So now what? This was supposed to be you. So again, so she knows he
Well,
really loves her.
keyword TJ, keyword was supposed, meaning
Pose.
But
like,
it ain't, and it wasn't.
okay.
But
And
the
No.
thing is, why can't he love? You could love more than one person at the same time.
in different ways.
It could be in the same way.
Did y'all
And
see
then a
that
lot of
kiss?
times people want to have their cake and eat it too. And he probably still had that feeling for Camille and probably didn't know that she felt the same way. And then when she told him, yeah, I feel the same way, he's like, well, damn, I'm proposed to this one because, yeah, men, he was ready to settle down and she was probably a nice woman and they build up a relationship. But then when you see the one that got away, all that feeling come back, the good and the bad, and that chemistry. And it's like, what do? You're a human being. I think people put too much on, we're in this together and you can't look or like or love nobody else except for me. And if you go in life thinking that way, you're setting yourself up for a big disappointment.
Exactly. Because we know what we're looking at.
At 54, now, me and Mr. Randolph talk, say, listen, this is the deal breaker. And the only deal breaker is if you cheat. And then
That's
I gotta
a deal breaker for you?
Then I gotta terminate you.
Yeah, that's
the deal breaker
for me.
What?
Yeah, I don't ever like to say it because I feel like it gives people the green light to cheat on you, but I think it depends on the circumstance and how long if we've been together 20 years, we better go sleep on the couch and come back together and work. You're not going nowhere. She better shut up calling, get them in check. Everything turn off at 9. I'm not about to leave my man because he had a slip up, because women want slip ups too. We just get judged differently because it's been times you could be with somebody else look finer, but he don't look like your husband.
Do slip up.
Okay, Lucky, I have a question for you because I know you watched Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Melanie, 4 kids, been together almost like 16 years or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
He cheated on and off for 5 years and got a baby. You stand?
No, because he broke the baby rule. But let's not act like he wasn't cheating with the same woman for something he was not getting. So it'd be different if it was multiple all the time. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like in a 3-way relationship, and it wasn't like she didn't cheat either. So, but to me, the baby now, you're taking it too far. Especially if we didn't have an agreement. But if you keep taking him back, you're okay with it. So just shut up and let him cheat on you in peace. Or and have some rules of engagement. No baby, no public humiliation. You know what I'm saying? Just get the bag. He taking care now. If I make more money than him, you better not cheat on me. You better not cheat on me if I'm taking care. Like, I'll make more money than you. That don't make no sense.
I look at it differently now because I done been through some stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff to get married at 52, and I'll be damned. And the thing about it's not just me; he's been through some stuff too. So I think the way we look at it is that is a deal breaker for all the things that we've been through and being at the age we are now. We ain't got time for that shit. We just don't.
Yeah.
But TJ, and this is for the ladies, you know the type of man who you marry. So a lot of women have this fairy tale ideal is when we get married, we become this different person. No, he was a cheater when you were dating him. He was a cheater before you met him. He was a cheater after you were dating him. He was a cheater when you were engaged. You know this, but you thought that it would be different. And if you have 4 kids and you really don't have financial freedom yourself, or he's worth a certain amount, you're not going to walk away from that, baby or no baby, outside. So what? He's a man. He could plant his seeds out. You should take care of it. I'm still not leaving. If I don't know, they was together, 15 years, 4 kids? I'm not leaving you because you was having an affair for 5 years and you made a baby.
She did. She sure did.
Yeah,
Well,
I couldn't.
was she
I
financially
couldn't be
sound herself?
Rashida in that situation. It wasn't a Rashida situation.
Yeah, because Rashida same way had a side. Well,
Yeah.
supposedly had a side baby.
But see, the difference between I'm gonna say Kirk and Martell is Kirk. There was like some stripper hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like some quick. And you were in response. I think I would probably be more upset, but not as much because I know she don't have your heart. It's still over here. Versus if you with somebody for 5 years, it's something you getting over there, and you're continuously over there. I can't compete with that, so I might need to divorce you because you're not about to. I don't know what she has over you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'd have to go. I couldn't.
But so, they're not together now. Him and the baby mama not together.
No.
How about that?
Well, they was just caught in the store together, so they together.
So you believe, Dana, that once a cheat, always a cheat?
No, you could stop cheating, but I'm saying from a woman perspective, a woman, whether she wants to admit it or not, but inside your brain, you know who you marrying. So so if you feel comfortable with him, if you were dating him and he was cheating on you and he asked you to marry him and he said, well, I'm not going to cheat on you anymore, just realize the type of person he was, and he may slip up and revert back to that. Can you deal with it? And if you can, or turn your head the other way, he's taking care of the household and doing what he has to do. If your relationship is solid, some women, they stay, some women can't take it and they go. But I think the disappointment comes for where he's a cheater, but then you want to act like when he do cheat, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And on top of that, honey, you out here serving men too. So
yes, I think it's called cheating respectfully. If I don't know, keep your hoes in line. Don't text me, don't call me, don't look on my pictures. They shouldn't even know nothing about me. It should be a way. How about after a certain tax bracket, have them sign disclosures? Shut your ass up, because women can't wait to tell the other woman, I had your man. You know what I'm saying? Then, yeah, no. I think it should be respected. I'm not saying you should.
I had your man, bitch. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Hours. Okay, Scissor.
Oh Lord.
You have something you want to say?
What'd you say, TJ?
Did Melissa, you had something you want to say?
Oh, I'm laughing at what Dana just said.
Okay, so here's a question up here. How do you ladies feel about men having multiple wives?
Why? What was the reason? What's the reason? Like, what do we need?
Well, probably I would probably say she would say this. If you're okay with them cheating, or or not okay, but that they're not going to, you're not going to leave your man after maybe he cheat one time, especially if you're with them a long time. So, and if he's like, okay, we've been together 15 years, I really want to be with another woman, we have children together, I don't want to leave you, you don't want to go nowhere, why not bring her on? You already know about her.
You already know about her.
But my thing is, like, why do you need to hold on to both? If it's not a religion thing, like, and you're practicing something and you just want to have multiple wives. But we all know on this panel, and I'm assuming people in the chat, it's a known fact that love is not the end all be all in a marriage. And if he's still screaming from the rooftop, I love the both of y'all, then like you weren't ready for marriage to begin with, because marriage is not just love off rip, right? So I just it's why are you keeping me around? If you want her, be with her. I'm not going to. We're not finna be up in
Y'all been
here.
married for 15 years.
We're not doing that.
No.
If you want her, have her. I'll take half of your money and get the hell on. Okay,
Right.
like
That's
I'm
me.
okay with it.
Look, you said you're okay with it.
If he can, we're gonna be sharing anyway. Okay, I am okay with it. If you can afford it, I mean, at a certain age, you expect a man to grow up and be over it, you know. But it's like their nature. I'm not gonna try to hunt you down. STD rate is high. That's probably like my main thing. But if you're into that and that's your belief and you can handle and afford 2 wives, the only thing I would say, I would question the children. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you guys don't have children, I think that's fine. But with the child, ain't no other woman about to be cooking for my child. Ain't get girl, bye. Don't do nothing. That's my place. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it will come a problem. But if when I'm with him and he taking care of everything and that's like my man, and I don't, let's be real, I don't want to have sex with you probably as much as you want to have sex with me. So girl, please. You know what I'm saying? Do your job. If it's just us two and he can afford it, and I'm not complaining.
right. That's why I said why. Like, what's the reason that you want to bring this person in? And I'm not giving you what you need. If it's sex that you want to have every single day, and you know I'm busy with work, with the kids, with cooking, with cleaning, and I don't want to have sex with you every day, that's the conversation. Let's have that conversation. And if you want to bring someone else into this marriage because you want sex, that's another bridge to cross. But if you want to have another wife, a legal document, that's completely different than having a side piece or having a second woman in the household. That's completely different. Because now you messing up my bag that I've spent 15 years breaking my back delivering your kids, and then you want to tie somebody else into this contract. You out your everlasting mind.
Well,
Yeah, not the same house.
Polygamy.
2 women cannot be in the same house. No.
Yeah, no, but you're talking about polygamy. That's not legal here in the United States. And if y'all, but unless you live in Utah and you're a Mormon or something, but
right.
If you ever saw the movie the HBO series Big Love, if they lived in their own separate house but next to each other. But he married the first one, and then he had that conversation with that first wife. Listen, this is what I want to do for XYZ. It was more so a business transaction. He wanted to produce multiple seeds. So and she agreed to it. So it was done on a business aspect. And I do respect that. And that works for some people. That's not for everybody.
No.
You know, you doing something on the side because maybe you ain't getting it at home or whatever. You know, we're all human beings. That's for the man and the woman. That's one thing. Be discreet about it. But polygamy, that's something to where you have to tell your partner and both parties have to agree.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's not the lifestyle that I can.
That's
emphatic no. Possessive issues.
Hard no.
Hell to the no.
All mine.
If you are a multi-millionaire, a sheik, a king, an African king, yes, I would be one of your wives. Yes, yeah, because I just have to have sex with you, baby. What, once a month or every quarter? So
you ready to risk it all, girl.
So all this, yes, I'm ready to do other stuff that I don't care who you with.
I'm kind of with Dana on that. If I can have my own life and I only have to see you once a week or once every three weeks or something, Gucci.
No, you can't have your own life. It's dedicated to him. He'll have you how he wants to have you. That's the type of man. So you can't have your own life.
I have the black card.
Yeah.
I have the black card. So I don't care how you want me on a Tuesday and you want me to do what? Okay, fine. I'll cook whatever. But
hop like a dog, bark like a dog.
Yes, honey. Because I have the black card. Yes, I have that black card. Yes. Yes.
Oh Lord.
No worries. Yeah.
This is a king, okay? Too.
Y'all get the likes up out there. Please get the likes up. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please get the likes up. We're about to go in deeper. So somebody asked about girlfriends. I have one clip of girlfriends, and I want to talk about it because I want to see if you all can relate to it. Now, Melissa, before you got on, I was saying what I would like for us to do. We're going backwards. And I'm gonna give the year that the movie or the sitcom was aired, and if you care to share how old you were at the time, if any of the characters you can identify with or you can relate to,
Yeah.
and have you had any similar experiences? So we're getting ready to go into the
Okay.
one clip with girlfriends. Um, so hold your horses.
I got my crack Kelly.
You got a Kelly bag? How? There's a waiting list.
Yeah, and your mama's back on it. Tony, give me the bag. No, Tony, you cannot afford a $17,000 bag. But I worked hard for this bag. I deserve it. It's mine, and I'm not poor.
All right. You're not poor. It's her bag. She's earned it.
Mm-hmm. You're right, William. It's her life, and it's her bag.
Nobody scams Mama.
Let me down, you mama's boy!
Ow! That crazy heifer just bit me.
Your mama don't give a damn about Kelly Ripa. She just wanted the cash. Tony, you are living in denial. You don't have this kind of money. Sweetie, this is not just about you. This is about saving your marriage. My marriage isn't worth what? Without that Kelly bag. We're doing this for your own good, Tony. One day when you're out of debt, you will forgive us. One day when I'm out of debt, I'm going to pay somebody to kill y'all.
Okay.
I love Tony.
So, what are your thoughts about that scene?
The bag was more important than her husband. I understand.
You understand?
They probably only made 5 of them. They probably make 100 of where he came from.
The more I find
Lucky,
Well,
I
I
love
will.
that.
Well, I will tell you, that was me. In my 20s, I would shop before I would pay my rent.
Okay.
So Shopaholic was your movie.
Yeah, well,
Freeze or credit card.
And it's so funny because I remember Dooney and Burke was really big at the time when I was in my 20s. And I came home with the bag, and my best friend I was telling you about, since we ate, and she said, "You got a bag?" I was like, "Yeah." She says, "Well, do you have the rent?" I said, "Well, I'll have it at the end of the week." She says, "Okay, well, at the end of the week, I'll give you your bag back."
See, that's the thing is I have in the past. I don't want to say if I still do or not. That's to be debated. But I do spend money on trips before I take care of other stuff. I will buy a plane ticket in a heartbeat and be like, that bill to get paid for. Like, you can't take that away. Nah, I'll fly somewhere in a heartbeat.
She kept my bag, so that's why I always say too, my daughters say, made me grow up, because once I got pregnant, I had to make better choices and make better decisions. But I was the woman that would buy the designer stuff. I paid my bills later. But
Well,
it's
I know
good to have a
someone like
girlfriend that
that.
keeps you accountable.
I know
Say
someone
again?
like that because they feel like the bills are already always going to be there, but this is not going to always be there. It's a sale. So they'll call their bills, pay a little bit on it, get an extension, and then they'll pay the full amount. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The struggle. You can't afford it, but I'm going to make myself afford it.
Oh yeah, I got to have it. I won't sit, and I got to have it. So,
Do it the easy way or the hard way.
yeah, this Girlfriends originally aired September 2000.
Okay.
Oh, it was 2000. Okay, I was in high school. I was like 17, but I loved Girlfriends. I loved that Joan Clayton. That's who I relate to. Absolutely, just quirky, driven, wanting love, but just You just can't get right. And you just try your best. And just like, God damn it again. The hell am
This
I
close.
doing?
This
Can't
close.
get it always close. Ah, shit. Then try again.
I
I
agree.
really couldn't relate
I'm
to
so
any of
dumb.
them. I really couldn't relate to any of them. I didn't
John
watch.
and Tony.
I
John
agree
and
with you,
Tony, I got.
TJ. I'd never like girl. I could never get. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I never could get into it, and that's when Sex in the City was hot. So I'm up here in the tri-state, and then watching that show, and it's like, oh my god, I do that too. I just related, even though they were all white that whole show, but you still related. So and that was LA. So I wasn't
Yeah.
familiar with the LA culture, and then I don't know. I was just into Sex in the City then. What was I doing in 2000? Oh, honey, I was having fun with 2 kids. Honey.
2000 was a good year.
Yeah, I was more relatable to girlfriends than Sex in the City because they were black and they were in LA. So I like Joan and I like Tony. A little bit of Maya until she cheated on that good man, you heifer. But yeah,
white
I like
one?
Maya.
guy?
No,
See, I don't
I
know.
forgot his name. Yeah, but no, she was cheating on her husband.
You know, I
Really?
didn't fully appreciate Girlfriends until because I obviously watched it back then, but I was young as hell.
I was gonna say, how old were you?
In 2000?
Yeah. Because I was 27. I just did the math real quick. So how were you?
What? 10? No.
I was 9.
I was 10. Okay, but hear me out. I was saying I could relate more.
I was 17.
Yeah. I can relate more when they rebooted it on Netflix. So remember, it was like this big craze, and it was like Netflix is becoming more popular because they're back, or the millennial generation was watching it. And it's like, oh yes, like I can't believe it. And it's more relatable because now we're at the age where they actually shot the show. And it was very telling how we can relate, and that was shot years ago, but we're experiencing the same exact things. So as much as people say I'm tired of the same story, I'm tired of the 4 girlfriends going through life and living in the big city, it's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, I think it's important, and I know that in certain channels or atmospheres, they kind of talk about single women keeps women single, and I'm not going to say there's not some truth to that, but as a young woman, in my 20s and even in my 30s, those women kept me together. Though that was my support. We were each other's support. We held each other accountable. And I will say that sometimes when single women keep others single is because we don't know what not to do when it comes to marriage because we're not married. We don't know, we don't really fully understand that certain lines we shouldn't cross. Right. Because again, there's a covenant. Because I can definitely say that there were several girlfriends that would tell me, they want to, we want to go out. Well, my husband said I can't go. What you mean your husband said you can't go? Right. But again, understanding what they want should come first. But in my early 20s, I'm like, what the hell you mean? He trying to control you.
I would add to that too and say oftentimes female friends, when you have an issue and you tell them, their first advice is to break up with him. It's not really to fix it. Oh, girl, I wouldn't tolerate that. But you don't have no man. So why am I even talking to you in the first place? I need to be talking. And then when you talk to a grandmother, elder, they have an old way of doing it that's not going to work today. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, with female friends, like I feel like that statement, they keep women single, I think it's based on the advice. They can't really give you good advice on what they would do because they could be used to leaving every situation. So I think that's where it comes.
Yeah, one thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. One thing that me and my best friend decided that we were going to stop doing is sharing every detail or even just talking about the guy that we're interested in or that we're dating. The only time that we would share is if, okay, I think it's getting close to, I might want to marry him or whatever. But just like all the in between, we leaving it out because you don't want to hear the you should leave him or this what you should do. Like I didn't call and ask people advice. I was just telling you. But now I see how you reacting. I'm going to throw it back. That's not.
Wait, Lauren, you said close when y'all get married.
Like if I say, yo, I would call her Nah, this hasn't happened, but there has been a moment where I was just like, I think he's the one, and here's why. I think it might happen at this day, this time. Like, women do that.
Yeah.
I think my friends, I always the one of my really good friends, she's my therapist. So I have to go lay on her couch, which is like phone call, and I tell her, "Oh my God, girl, yeah, I think he want boss." She be like, "Slow it down." X, Y, boom, boom, boom. Well, because she's more manipulative, so she knows how to go. She know how to pick between the cracks, and then it's like, and then she brings me back down to reality. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Let me pull back. But and one thing about my friends, like when it came to if we were all single and they met a guy and they're in a relationship, we dropped each other. Like we're focused on our relationship or we're focused on our husband. We never said, oh, we never got into each other business because we're quick to say, no, mind your business. Because this is, my man. So we never had that. It's just that one thing I don't like, and this is recently this year, the guy that one of my good friends is with now, before it was official, I would hear from her more. So when that relationship became official, and it's like, okay, now you don't need me to listen to you. You don't really call me, we're not planning anything because he's 24/7. But I don't say that, but in my head I'm thinking that, but it's all well and good. Whatever.
Well, Melissa, you've been married a very long time. So can you identify with anything that we're saying, far as, because to the thing that you were talking about last night, Dana, about setting boundaries, even in girlfriend relationships, because particularly with friends that I grew up with in high school and college, we tell each other everything. So didn't really get the correlation that when they were in a relationship, we wasn't supposed to tell each other everything. And so, because when you tell people stuff, you give them permission to have an opinion. So,
Yeah.
did you run into that at all, Melissa?
That's what I was going to say. Two things. I couldn't relate to girlfriends. I don't know what it was back then. I don't know why, but I just couldn't get into it. But the other part about that is I was 27, married to a military guy, still married, but also I might have had 3 kids at the time, two definitely, but definitely third. So I couldn't identify with any of that. But also the flip side of that, to answer your question, TJ, the Melissa that I am now obviously is not the same person, but also just my lifestyle, very, very heavily into the church. So the women just kind of groomed me, sort of, in a sense, to be the wife that I thought I needed to be in that time. So it was very much taught, keep your business, keep your business in the house, y'all work that out amongst yourselves. So no, I didn't really, like, it was more like how Lauren Melissa was saying, like, okay, you have your girlfriends, you talk, but don't share your problems, because then, like she said, people come back and they're like, So no, I learned very early on, keep that on the DL. Like, no, don't even, no, not good. No.
Okay, so now we're going to segue into Sex in the City.
Okay.
Sex in the City was originally aired in June 1998. Okay. I probably started watching it between 99 and 2000. In 98, I was 30, so that would have been between 30 and 32. Like Dana, I could really, even though they're Caucasian, I could relate to them. I could relate to all of them in different ways. From the shopping, the shoes, just, I was about being glam. I mean, I'm sorry. I was a diva. I just was. And and I just was. So I
I can
really,
relate. I can relate to that.
yeah, I mean, even though I was a mom by that time, my body was tight because I was in the
Yep.
military. I was leading from the front. You heard me.
Listen,
So
listen. I feel
yeah,
you. I understand.
you know, LT. I was running around the formation. Yes, honey. This is what I look like. Let me
Right.
grow y'all. So let's look at this clip. This is one of the clips. And oh, this is actually okay. This is from the first season, episode 1, first season. We're going to come back to the reboot later. But this is the first season, so let me share my screen. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay.
One warm spring day, he took her to a townhouse he saw in Sunday's New York Times.
How about if we start at the top and work our way down? There are 4 bedrooms upstairs. Do you have any children?
Not yet.
Where's the picture?
That
You
day,
can't see it?
Tim popped the question.
I feel like that.
Oh, crapper. Why can't you crap?
Is it on YouTube? Oh, that's an episode. Okay.
It's on HBO Max.
HBO probably like, no, boo-boo. You
Yeah, they
can't.
blocked
Yeah, HBO, thank you. What you not gonna do is try to edit it.
Share your subscription.
You think you slick?
But I have a subscription.
We
Yeah,
all don't.
when you trying to share it, they probably got something blocked on it.
Yeah, they got you blocked. You
I mean,
can't share that.
FYI, TJ, when you in this show, I'm pretty sure the YouTube going to say this is not monetized because copyright. It's not a strike. It's just that your monetization is going to go to copyright.
If you put
Yeah.
it on
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just go with the
audio.
hearing it. The hearing, the
Yeah,
audio.
we can hear it. Mm-hmm.
Let me just
Well, try to go back out and go back in.
go back out to
Go back.
Okay, so let me, as a matter of fact.
No, I mean I didn't mean out of the not out of StreamYard scene. I mean the
HBO Max, the app.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going back in there. I didn't lose y'all, did I?
No, you here.
Okay. So I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because Netflix did it to me. I was like, oh, okay. Well,
Hey, this is what we're doing. Okay. I didn't think about that.
I'm just waiting until we get to the Golden Girls.
yes.
Lucky, I'm surprised you like the Golden Girls because that's
Girl, I have
way
seen
before.
every episode. I used to watch it.
I haven't seen an episode of The Golden Girls, so I won't.
Not one?
You never seen The Golden Girls?
I've never seen Sex in the City.
They started this thing.
They started that thing.
Yes.
The Golden Girls is so good.
I know
And
I'm
it's
jumping,
funny.
but Lucky is definitely the mother when she's.
I'm Blanche. No, I'm not Blanche. I'm sorry. I'm Blanche as far as like the way she likes to look, but I'm definitely Dorothy.
The mother.
No, Dorothy's her daughter.
Yeah, that's Sophia.
You're the you're the mother. With personality.
No, but see, that's why I say I would be more like Dorothy when it comes to Rose. Because Rose.
I can see the mother comes in a room with her one-liners.
Yeah,
Not insulting people, but I'm not saying you go around insulting people, but you're definitely I can see you doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a comment down there, TJ says HBO video player cannot be shared. So you're not gonna be able to play it.
Oh.
Can I just hear can we hear the audio?
Go on YouTube and type in Sex in the City episode 1.
Okay, let me see. Go to YouTube.
Which one would you say you were, Dana?
Sex in the City?
No, Golden Girl.
Blanche and Blanche.
Yeah, I don't think I've never met nobody that could relate to Rose.
Yeah. Well, they have clips, so I guess that's all I can get. But let me see if I can prepper. Okay. I think this might help. This might work. Hold on a second. I think we might have something here. Okay. Okay.
It's like the riddle of the Sphinx. Why are there so many great unmarried women and no great unmarried men? I explore these sorts of issues in my column, and I have terrific sources, my friends.
When you're a young guy in your 20s, women are controlling relationships. By the time you're an eligible man in your 30s, you feel like you're being devoured by women. Suddenly, the guys are holding all the chips. I call it the mid-30s power flip.
It's all about age and biology. I mean, if you want to get married, it's to have kids, right? And you don't want to do it with someone older than 35 because then you have to have kids right away, and that's about it. I think these women should just forget about marriage and have a good time.
I have a friend who'd always gone out with extremely sexy guys and just had a good time. One day, she woke up and she was 41. She couldn't get any more dates. She had a complete physical breakdown, couldn't hold on to her job, and had to move back to Wisconsin to live with her mother. Trust me, this is not a story that makes men feel bad.
Most men are threatened by successful women. If you want to get these guys, you have to keep your mouth shut and play by the rules.
I totally believe that love conquers all. Sometimes you just have to give it a little space. And that's exactly what's missing in Manhattan. The space for romance.
The problem is expectations. Older women don't want to settle for what's available.
By the time you reach your mid-30s, you think, why should I settle? You know?
It's like the older we get, the more we keep self-selecting down to a smaller and smaller group.
What women really want is Alec Baldwin.
There's not one woman in New York who hasn't turned down 10 wonderful guys because they were too short or too fat or too poor.
I have been out with some of those guys, the short, fat, poor ones. It makes absolutely no difference. They're just as self-centered and unappreciative as the good-looking ones.
Why don't these women just marry a fat guy? Why don't they just marry a big fat tub of lard?
Happy birthday, dear Miranda. Happy birthday to you.
Another 30-something birthday with a group of unmarried female friends. We would all have preferred a nice celebratory conference call.
You were saying?
Look, if you're a successful saleswoman in this city, you have two choices. You can bang your head against the wall and try and find a relationship, or you can say screw it and just go out and have sex like a man.
You mean with dildos?
No, I mean without feeling.
Samantha Jones was a New York inspiration, a public relations executive. She routinely slept with good-looking guys in their 20s.
Oh, remember that guy that I was going out with? Oh, God, what was his name? Drew. The sex guy. Right. Well, afterwards, I didn't feel a thing. It was like, hey, babe, gotta go. Catch you later. And I completely forgot about him after that.
But are you sure that isn't just...
Okay. Thoughts, ladies?
Oh, God, I missed that show.
I love the hairstyles.
What?
I was loving the hairstyles from that time, honestly. So I'll let y'all go first.
It came out, you said June 98. I had my son in May of 98. So I was still recovering from that. Even though that was my second child, my body did snap back. So when that came out, it's like, okay, I'm ready to go out and have fun. Still young. Had babysitters, probably like 6 months in after, dropped my babysitter family. And I was able to juggle both, still be young and party and be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I always related to Samantha and Carrie. My best friend is 100% Samantha. So, and I don't know, it's like, I didn't even consider the fact that they were white. Everyone around them were white, but it was New York. Everybody was making money. That was before 9/11.
Yep. Yeah.
And the city was just, you had the clubs. I was going to Cheetahs. I was going to Sound Factory. You had the pier. So you have the gay community. It's just, New York was just on fire then. So yeah, it was just good times.
So okay, so the questions are where, the age you were at that time, the characters you can identify with, have you had in the experiences? Now listen, when we listen to the men talk in there, do any of those things sound familiar than what do any of those things sound familiar that
They've been trying to tell us the whole time.
Yeah, it's nothing new under the sun. So what the men have been wanting, and will continue to want. The thing is, I think women now we have been trying to change men, and they want what they want, and it's not going to change. And like Charlotte, who I identify with, shout out Dana. We're gonna talk about that later. Okay. Yeah. She said it play by the rules. Shut up. And sometimes you got to shut up. But we don't want to do that. And that's why we're now. Men are going to vote what they want, when they want, always going to be the same. White man, black man, Mexican man, Puerto Rican man. This is a man. You just got to play it and know how to play it. And the thing is, as a woman, if you know how to play, you hold the power all in your hands.
I didn't know that back at 32, because again, I think I've said, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm gonna tell you how we should do it. I'm gonna tell you what I think, even if you don't ask me. And but I've learned. But back in my 30s, oh no. And I think it's so interesting because when I saw the first episode, went back and looked at the first episode, I'm like, wow.
How relatable.
So men universally they're saying the same stuff.
So TJ, you were 31.
I was in 98, I was 30, between 30 and 31.
Yeah, and I was 21. So I was even more of a firecracker because my son father, I just given birth, but he was working on Wall Street, making money. And thinking back at that time, I remember going to his job and I had the baby in a baby carriage. I met him there. We was going to have lunch and giving me some money. And I remember the women, this is black women, worked in corporate in the same building, walked past us with her nice, sexy outfit on and heels. Side-eye my baby daddy. And I'm like, and then in my head, I'm like, oh, he's fucking her. It's like, yeah, it was so, and I wasn't, but see, Courtney, like you were saying, Charlotte, playing by the rules and you get what you want. At 21, I wasn't playing by no rules, and I was more of a firecracker. Yeah.
But I don't think any of us knew that, though. And that's what, I think we as black women, we didn't know how to play by the rules. White women have a heads up on us because they know how.
They know the rules.
They understand the essence of being, woman, you hold all the power, but the key is making them feel like they hold all the power. And that's what makes you powerful.
Yep.
We don't learn that.
I disagree with that because the white women are messed up just as much. It's just that when we look at the way we are portrayed on social media and on television, it looks as if we are catching up. But because I'm always around white women and I work with them, I'm massaging on them, they are a hot mess. They are married more.
Right. That's
because there's more white people. But and that's a whole nother thing. But they're messed up, especially the younger generation. They don't know more than us.
I didn't say they knew more.
They're just grown.
Well, hold on. Let me rebut, because I didn't say they knew more. I didn't say they weren't messed up. What I said, they have a heads up on white women on knowing how to be married, get a man, because they were taught the game. They were taught as women how to date, what men want. And I know that now from having a daughter and looking at these young girls in charm school. These women are taught. These women are crazy, drunk, slut, hoes, all the above. But they know how to chill it out, keep it quiet, and get their husband.
And play with Skip.
What's a charm school?
Yeah. My daughter's in charm school, but she's the only black girl there. But they start them early.
I didn't know they still had that. Is that a Southern thing?
Maybe it is.
I think so.
But you know what? They had in Oklahoma and had in LA again, because they don't, to teach etiquette, how to, what forks to eat with and all those kinds of things. So when Chip or Skip took you out, you knew what fork to eat with. But we don't, and I'll just say, I won't even talk about this right now. I remember going in college and we made fun of the girls, the Caucasian girls, say, oh, she came to get an MRS degree. My dumb ass should have been trying to get that too.
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I was just about to say to Courtney's point. we're taught, generally speaking, oh, when I get to college, it's going to be party, party, party. I know my white counterparts, my friends who have kids, like they're booed up. They're looking for the doctor, the lawyer, then they still going to party and all of that. But they're with Brad the entire 4 years and into doctorate school and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Is it a demographic thing? Because I see that to some degree over here in the tri-state. But the majority over here with the mentality of women is, yes, I'm educated and I have a career and I'm making money and I want to climb that corporate ladder. And then yes, I'm dating him. Like you date all these Mr. Bigs. Yeah. And to one day you look up like, oops, I got to grab a husband. And it was an episode in Sex and the City, I think it was the first season, the woman who married that man and she moved to Connecticut because she looked up one day. It was like, okay, I'm getting older. So over here, it was more about what do you do as a career? More modern woman career driven. And then the marriage came. So well, I think in the South, the women in the South were more like, I'm going to college to find a husband.
Well, I think it was like white that even when I was in college, going to school to, climb the corporate ladder. But I think what was happening, our counterparts were doing what Melissa said. But to that point, when you consider Sex in the City, that's when the shift had changed. That's when it started to change. Instead of looking for husband, because now we're talking about 98. Mm-hmm. That's when it was more of the career trajectory versus when I was in college in the mid to late 80s into the 90s. Yeah. So by 98 into 2000, that's when not only Black, but also the white women like you're talking about were, the Samantha Joneses and, Miranda. So that's when it started to happen. Then we looked up, we 40 plus and we don't have as many prospects.
And then it's like, yes, we know what the forks mean when we are eating at a table, but we weren't learning that so much for a husband. We were learning that for business meetings and getting deals. And of course, that spills over in your personal life. So I think the path or the mission was different. I'm looking at it depending on where, because I always looked at the South. Yeah, them girls in the South, Black or white. I went to college to find a husband. And up here, we're like, a husband, we got time for that later. We about this money and having fun, and then we'll get a husband. But then you got to look at it around you.
Until you came.
Do you think that it's because of how success is taught? Because typically when you think of success, nobody includes a marriage or a union. It looks like money, it looks like career. So when you're teaching your children, you're teaching them how to be successful, but you're not including the first key to legacy or anything is family. So get that too and make sure it's successful. We're not really taught that. It's more like your 20s is for playing and getting your career. Your 30s are for when you want to get serious because a man is not promised. So like about the women who were told to get an MRS degree, when that degree ran out at 37, what skills do you have to pick up the pieces for your life? Because typically it seemed like it does run out. I've not met anybody that are getting married past 2000s that are going towards their 80-year-old life. Like at some point it starts to be we grown apart, all those things that factor in because we're taught how to be successful without each other. So then you get together, it's like in your 30s, what I'm going to do now? Like, look at, we just talked about Melody and Martell. Let's say that it was the roles were reversed and he was a successful one and she had to leave the marriage. That means that when people get married, when they divorce, they want what you came in with. Like, I don't want to do nothing. It gets ugly. So then I have to figure out life on my own. And I didn't get that degree or I didn't get that job or that career, so the skill set to even live without you. So I think it just depends on how success is taught to a certain generation. Men are not in that equation of being successful with you.
I like what Miss Creative said in the chat. She said marriage is not an accomplishment, and I agree with that. And I think some women may think it is.
So? I totally disagree.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm not. That's just me. And I wouldn't try to persuade someone, to say, oh, you're wrong to think that way. But that's just me. I don't think it's an accomplishment. I don't think, and I always looked at it, I was not born to have my value measured by a man. That's not why I'm here on this earth. Now you're a plus, and I could be a plus for you. You can't make me happy, and it's not my job for me to make you happy, and it's not your job to make me happy. Only I could make myself happy, but you can't enhance it. It could be a plus.
So marriage is not an accomplishment, but a successful career is. How so? Because both require work.
Lawrence,
For me, because I look at it, he's not promised even after you're married. So if I don't have anything to fall back on, I'm looking at on the finance, on an economic standpoint, because I've seen so many marriages to where the woman, the wife, you don't have a career, you don't even have a degree, you don't even have any type of experience, but you have children and you have this marriage. Well, he comes home, I don't want to be married to you no more. So you have to do what he wants you to do and how he wants that divorce to go and give you what he wants to give you. And I look at it, if you have something of your own, it don't have to be millions of dollars or a whole bunch of six figures, but if you have some type of experience, even a degree or some type of skill to fall back on, right? Even if you leave your career and to be a stay-at-home mom, you could just pick that back up, save your money, knowing how to invest. So if he says, I don't want you and I don't want to give you anything, then what do you want to do? You need to have something of your own.
I'm going to say a job is not guaranteed. They can fire you as well. And once you get to a certain age, they're looking for the younger person for that position anyway. So I think that
but have you
man
been
is
saving
more
your money up in a process?
Most women don't save money.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying in a marriage, at least, if I've married him X amount of years, you're owed something, regardless if he wants to, depending on how you set it up. And just like you want to keep your job to stay an employee, you keep your marriage. So whatever both of the duty of it, if y'all need to get separate houses for a short period of time.
Right. So, but do you know how to make sure you get something out of it if it were to end? A lot of women don't. They just think they're married, they're fine.
That's
but
true.
In the state of New Jersey, you don't get alimony, especially if you worked. You have to be 1,000% a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home wife to get alimony. So if you worked for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years out of the 15, he doesn't have to pay you alimony. So you have to understand the laws where you get married at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's different in turn. Yeah, that's true.
I'm stuck on accomplishment though. Like even being married and having been married almost 30 years, somebody would say, oh, she's accomplished, but I don't feel like that. Like what define that for me? Because I'm like, okay, well, what was the accomplishment? Because to me, that kind of gives the tone like I did something better or something. Like I don't understand the like what's the accomplishment?
I'll explain. It's not that you did something better. I believe you were created to be a wife and you was created to be a mother.
Okay.
So when you are married, when you are a mother, you've accomplished your purpose.
Got you.
A job is something to maintain or help that purpose, help your husband, help the family. But a job is not just for you to flourish and not to create. We're made to create.
That makes sense.
So
okay,
the accomplishment is you're fulfilling God's purpose.
Got you.
You know, and it's a joy. A lot of Black women can't say that they have what you have.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a fulfilling accomplishment to
to
come home to a husband, to your children. That's not a dollar sign in the world for that.
Nope.
And a lot of women can't say that they have
valuable and priceless.
Until
that's more than
anymore. So what happens when you don't have it anymore?
You will always have it.
It's not my identity. So there's a difference between an accomplishment and an identity. When I look at Courtney's definition, absolutely 100%, I agree with everything that she said. But he is not my identity. My marriage is not my identity. You know, so if I don't have it, I'm still Melissa. I'm gonna mourn whatever. But at the same time, it's not my world. It's just another, not just another, but it's an accomplishment. I get you now. Yeah.
It's an asset or supposed to be.
Asset for
sure. And I agree because even with the career, even when I was in the military, I had to remind myself, okay, this is what I do. It's not who I am.
Yeah.
So I am a wife. That's my duty to do things, but that's not all of who I am. And when I say when I believe that marriage is an accomplishment, particularly if it's a successful one. What that means by successful is you all still commune with each other, you fellowship, you like each other, you hang out like best friends, like you did all when you first started, and you've aged together. So I think it is, and it's funny because I've said it before, and again, I know some people, I'm newlywed still, but I said that I was married before, but I'm a wife now.
So different.
And
now, what some people who get a divorce, they still like each other, they still respect each other. Would you say because you got a divorce that's necessarily was not a successful marriage or relationship because you got a divorce? I would say no. If you still like each other, respect each other, amicably, parting ways, and you, of course, you're gonna have your battles in the marriage and definitely divorcing. But when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, you still respect that person and you still like that person. That doesn't mean that my marriage wasn't a success. It just
wasn't a success.
ended.
It wasn't.
How when it ended?
It wasn't.
Because who told you that because I'm married to this person that it's supposed to be forever? Who said that?
The union, the vows you take that say for better or worse.
The vows say forever.
Was part.
So okay, so then if it's about the vows, why are you signing legal documentation that has to do with the state? That's
Because
the business and the policy.
I get what you're saying.
That has nothing to do with the vows and what you seen from
but it has to do with
You
those
still take the
taxes.
vows, but because
the law requires it.
But it has to do with those taxes. It has to do with you getting a house. It has to do
medical.
with
Exactly.
it has to do with your insurance.
So it has nothing to do with the vows. See, the vows are the vows. The marriage signing those legal documentations are the legal documentations. But that does not mean because me and you made a vow that we're supposed to be together for the rest of our lives.
That's what that means.
Like
then why get married?
And the idea, but that's what marriage is. Marriage is taking vows and signing a contract. That's marriage.
And then
you can't have one without the other.
Actually, you can.
Contracts be broken.
Actually, you can. Before there was Contract of America, how was people getting married? It's about witnesses, right? In front of God.
You're not understanding what I'm saying, Lucky. What I'm saying is
you're saying marriage is different and it's the contract.
What I'm saying is just because if I marry this man, that doesn't mean that we're going to be married forever. Who said that it's guaranteed because I married this person, you're supposed to be with me forever? Things sometimes end.
We understand. I think we all understand that. We didn't say anything is guaranteed, but when you go in a marriage, married women, correct me if I'm wrong, it's forever.
Forever.
Well,
it's forever. And that's why you take your vow.
Forever. It may not be forever, but you go in it with the intention that it will be.
You go in it with the intention of working for it to last. If it doesn't last, this is where I'm coming from. If it doesn't last, what do you have as a woman to fall back on? That's where I'm coming from. That's the question that I want women to start answering for themselves.
But
women do. I mean, there's some women that do have. I mean, we can't use me as an example because I'm a newlywed. But my best friend, they've been married for 27 years, together for 30. So they literally grew up together. And if for whatever reason that it was to dissolve, she has had a very fulfilling career the whole time, and so has he. Because again, they grew together and they built together. So, sometimes they're going to be the marriages to the women stay at home, but more often than not, it's kind of like we were talking about this idea of the modern woman. If you're working outside the home, for more than part-time, you're a modern woman. You can still be traditional when you get home, handling your business. But if you're working outside of the home and your monies provide substantial to the income of the household, that's modern.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm not modern because I would never pay more than 20% of anything in any relationship. But what this is the part. What I'm saying is, if you are that woman who never worked, who does not have a degree, who does not have working experience, but you have a husband and you have children, and your marriage dissolves, right? you still have to know going into that marriage, even with no working experience and no financial security of your own, you have to know what recourse will I be provided if this does not work out. And if you don't ask yourself that question and have that prepared, then you are very delusional going into a marriage.
So I know you talked about not alimony, but that's the idea of alimony. Alimony is paid very, very small. I think it's around 7 to 11%. 3% of men actually get alimony, but though it's because it's a very, very small percent of women that don't work that are stay-at-home moms. Majority of us work. And if we're going to be honest with each other, and majority of women, Lucky's leaving. Majority of women don't have careers. We have jobs. There's like 6% of women might be lawyers. 4% of women are doctors. It's a very, very small percentage of women that will say they have a career. It's a very small percentage of people that have a degree that they're even working in their degree. We have jobs. And these jobs are very easy a lot of them are easy to pick up. So you don't necessarily just need a whole lot of experience. Black women in general don't make that much money.
This is why I say to any woman, whether you have a career or a job or no job and you're married, before you marry that person, yes, you go to that pastor for counseling, go to a lawyer, a divorce lawyer, and go to a financial advisor. And let them give you that fiscal, financial sound advice, and also have that prenuptial agreement with your counterpart and see what comes out of that. And if you don't do those things, then I'm sorry, you're setting yourself up to be in a not so good situation if something down the line was to happen.
And that's possible, but it's possible. But again, here's the thing. And the lead says again too that go to a lawyer, and that works for somebody, works for some people. There's no one size fits all. There just isn't. Maybe that would be working for you. It won't work for me. Maybe it'd be because it's what works for you. It's not bad advice. It's solid advice. Mm-hmm. But for me and even my daughter, I use her as an example. I know they did premarital counseling, but they didn't sign no prenups. They didn't have shit. Neither one of them.
And I get that. And I was actually told when you don't have any, those are the ones that really need to have a prenup. Because a prenup is not about what he's going to give me. It does protect you too. It does protect both y'all. Or just to have an understanding, a prenup is whatever you two agree in. If something were to happen, if you divorce, if somebody passes away, it's a lot of things. So why not have that conversation, especially in 2021? Why are we still having this fairy tale of I'm married and this is supposed to last?
Well, I guess for me, I'm looking at it from someone who is married, has been married, like I said, almost 30 years, but we built together. So he's not kicking me out my house. This is our house. Mm-hmm. So it depends on how you choose to build. That none of this is just his, none of this is just ours. It will be hell. We laugh about it sometimes, how we would try to separate this stuff because it's ours. So I guess a lot of it depends on how you choose to build. There are some men, do not get me wrong. There are some men, this is mine. I bought this. This is my account. This is, and that's the way they choose to build. But at the same time, I'm just sitting here thinking, and I'm like TJ said, it's not one size fit all either. So I lost my train of thought.
Well, you said y'all built. Yeah, that's y'all.
Yes. Exactly.
So he would never.
He can't
come home. Exactly. Because he knows he can't. Because it's like, well, even if I want to leave,
he can't.
But I think that's
and that's your situation. And I'm not debating that. I'm just saying.
No. I got you.
There are basic things that women in general, of any race or background, that we have miscalculated and misstepped and did not think about before marriage, even before having kids.
But the other part is, excuse me, I just thought about it. I knew what I was going to say. When we were building, in the back of my head, I didn't think, Because for a long time, I had my career, he had his career, whatever, but it wasn't like, oh, let's buy a house, but he better put my name on it. No, it wasn't calculated as some of this sounds to do, which I understand. Some women definitely need to do it.
Well,
I
if
get
you're
it.
married, it's not a matter of he has to by law. Because my parents are, I'm sorry, real quick.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My parents are not legally divorced. They have to get a divorce to where they have not been together for over 30 years. I'm 45 and they were married at 20.
Wow.
When he moved to Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, and bought a house, he was like, "Oh, your wife name has to be on the on the mortgage." He flew my mother out, paid for the ticket and everything. Say, can you sign this paper giving up your rights? Because legally, whether they were together or not, he had to put her name on it. He was like, "Oh hell no." But they ghetto because it's like, okay, why didn't y'all get a divorce? Because if you die, she getting your pension. So that's a whole nother story. But
I had not shameless plug. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, talking about dating while separated. Portia, all of them, right? And so that came up, and I was like, y'all, you don't understand. You think you're with this married man, the likelihood of leaving his wife is very low. But then the other part is, if something happens to him, he got to fly his wife out or bring the wife in for medical, for this or that. So yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to say too, and this also kind of goes back to what you were saying also, Melissa, is that I think this is the reason why we're supposed to be getting married at a college range in our 20s, because we're not so jaded. We're not so in the world that we have our own stuff. So now, if I get married, I want my own. No, you got your own. We build together. This is the idea of getting married when you're in college, finding your husband in college. You don't have these ideas. You don't have this, it's mine, it's his, it's going to be ours, because we ain't got shit. It ain't nothing to do with what you gonna do, a prenup on you. You want my debt? You want my student loan? Because that's all I got, baby.
I think I'm glad you brought that up, Courtney. I'm glad you brought a debt, because now with student debt, we got to pay back student loans coming in February 1st. That could be in a prenup. I'm not required to pay this.
But as 20-year-olds and stuff, you don't think about that. You look at like we were talking about when I was 20 and traveling the world, and I felt invisible and untouchable, going into that energetic, the bright-eyed, bushy-tail, going into relationships like that and building with one another. You don't have those, it's mine, and how we as older women have. So bad relationships.
So I want to speak, because I've been listening all this time, and I mean, I'm 31, right? So I've surpassed the time frame of like the ideal age of getting married, but to a certain degree, like I agree with Dana in that, especially in this day and age, whether you're 20, you're 30, or you're 40, getting married in 2021, 2022 or later, we would not be doing ourselves a favor if we don't have the conversations about the what ifs. Not to say that if you consider the what ifs, why are you getting married? If you already doubting, why are you even doing it? It's not necessarily about doubt. Look at the times that we're living in. All of these, social media is at play. They did not have social media in the 50s and 60s, right? Like there are so many things that are happening in the world today that are attacking marriages. And we would be dumb if we did not arm ourselves with the proper tools, whether that be a prenup, whether that be an end of life plan, whether that be whatever. There are so many different contracts and tools to kind of guard the covenant that we're jumping into. So by me going to meet with a lawyer or a financial planner, or to talk about money, to talk about what happens if I fall dead suddenly one day, who gets what, it's not that I'm doubting that it will last. It's that I want to make sure we're going to be good, because I love you enough to not leave you broke and tired or just not prepared. I'm a hopeless romantic. Anybody who watches my channel, who follows me on social media, shut up. So no, but like anybody who knows me,
I even be picking in, and I know.
See, yeah, like I'm one of those people I've been hurt, cheated on more times than I want to admit. And yet I still believe in love. I still believe in marriage. I still think I'm going to get married. And yes, I do have this false sense of like this fairy tale thing, But you best believe I'm asking what debt you got. Here's the debt I got. This is what I'm bringing. What contracts we gonna have? And I think that's just a real conversation that needs to be had. By me saying that I want to have those conversations doesn't mean that I'm doubting the idea of marriage or if it's going to work or not.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and me and my husband had the conversations too. I mean, we had the conversations, and we, like you said, he didn't think my credit was but actually it got better since then. But we had those conversations, and again, wills and life insurance, all that kind of
all
stuff.
that.
So we do. But I think what we were talking about initially, partly is that what is marriage an accomplishment?
Yes.
And for me, it is. It is when I consider all the things that I believe make it work. That it's just not, we do love each other. We went into it because we love each other. We like each other. We are friends. But we did have the conversations, and we went into it with the intent that we will be together till death do us part.
And two, sorry, TJ, I just want to say, like, back to the root of how it started of like, is marriage an accomplishment? We have to check ourselves and be like, okay, how do we, coming from like our background, where we grew up, how we were raised, how do we measure success? Like, what is an accomplishment? Because if you were raised in a church, oh, absolutely, that is the pinnacle, right? That is what I believe. But if you didn't grow up in church, success, and you saw your family struggling, they ain't have nothing, then maybe your form of success is, I want a 6-figure job and I want to have it. I want to be a CEO. So like, it is not to say that either is wrong, but I think our situations in which we were brought up in kind of forms how we think and how we move in the world, right? Like, I'm a product, I came from a 2-parent home, but then they got divorced, and when I was 15. So it's like, do I not believe in marriage? Not necessarily, but am I going to ask all these different questions that I didn't consider asking when I was, younger? I'm absolutely going to start asking those questions. And that's only because I saw something that perhaps somebody who came from a 2-parent household that parents been together for 50 years never had to think about. They're not going to think about those same things. So those are like, I just want to like recognize that just because like the way we were raised and how we were brought up is shaping the way we think doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. It just means that we're thinking that way because we don't want to repeat a cycle. We're trying to break certain cycles and break generational curses. And by doing that, we have to move a certain way. And we all can't move the same way because, again, it's curses. Like, there are things in our lineage that, unless you move intentionally, are going to continue to be perpetuated.
Well, what do you mean by we can't all move the same way?
Like,
so if I say that, let me, I guess, explain. If I say that our goal is to have family, the goal is for women to be married and to be wife and mother, men, husband, father. That is the goal. And once you get it, that's the accomplishment. Accomplishment is getting your goal, and that's the accomplishment. If I'm saying that, and I'm saying that should be the American way, would you negate that and say, well, no, people, that's not the American way?
No, I would not negate that. I think I would only say the way in which it happens, right?
The way that you get it is going to be
the way you get it is going to be different. Absolutely. Because I agree, the only way for us to kind of, bring down the incarceration rates and like all of these different things that we as a culture deal with, family is at the root. Like, we have to create, reestablish the family structure. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But the way in which we make it happen is going to look different
per person, per
and
couple, per family.
Right. And so I hear this often, and usually that's why I'm like, when I have panels or I interview people, I'm usually quiet because I do want to hear multiple perspectives. Because like, here we're living in a society where manifestation is the way. Or, if you
what does that mean?
Like, if you only
think it'll come.
Yeah. So like, you have so many different ways of thought. So manifestation is one, or if you have any ounce of doubt, like it ain't gonna happen, or like crystals. Like there's so many different things that people meditation.
I like crystals. Yes, I like crystals.
So yeah, I
think
so like that's my thing, is just like the way in which it happens for people is going to be different. And what I've been seeing on this YouTube space, not here in this space right now, but on this YouTube space, is if you don't subscribe to a certain way, like to move a certain way, you're doomed for life. And it's like, not necessarily. I'm moving the way I know how. Right. I'm moving the way I know how because I've seen it move the way that you are saying it be moved. And my mom is divorced. My dad is divorced. And they did it the way that you're describing. I need to go a different way because I'm seeing it. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's different. So I love being on panels and I love watching different shows and different perspectives, because you do really get to see how different everyone thinks. But the end goal is still the same, to your point, Courtney, is we need to really kind of interrupt all of the things that are tearing down our community.
And I totally agree with that. When you have a healthy family unit, it does bring stability and security. Children are raised better, healthier. They advance more. And I did experience that when my parents were married before I was born and growing up in a household with both of them. But I sensed they got divorced. They separated. I probably was in 3rd or 4th grade. But before they divorced, I started to sense that they didn't like each other. So I really wasn't mad that they separated, because they really needed to separate. And sometimes it's better to separate and but be the best parents you could be for your children. The problem with my parents, they weren't the best people they should have been after they separated, because they was very selfish, because they were still young. And my mother was a model woman. She worked too. She contributed. So she had a lot to say about input in the household. And my father running around here with women, and my mother caught him. And I was there that day. We was coming home from church, and that car was parked around the corner from the house with the girl in the car. I remember that as a kid, and I remember how hurt my mother was. I remember that. I felt that hurt, and that bothered me. And so I remember vividly when that union separated. The problem that I have with my parents, because even after you divorce, even after you separate, you don't abandon your responsibilities as being co-parents. And they did, because they still was partying. My grandmother, we had the main house with my grandmother. So it was more of a family. So we had family support. But it's nothing like your parents being there hands-on. So it's that healthy family unit. But I felt they don't need to be together. But I didn't think that with them separating, that it would break down even more. And that is what I did not like about my parents. And I would say they messed up on that part. But everybody is human.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we've been going along a long time, but I want to go ahead and get to these last few clips because it's really good stuff. So I'm going to skip some of them and go right to the waiting to exhale. Waiting to exhale. We're going backwards in a little bit, because waiting to exhale came out June 1995. Okay, June 1995. I'm going to tell you off the rip, I identify with Savannah and Robin. I know, because what a dumbass. But anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, she was, and so was I. Let me get the clip, because
I'm trying to think who I relate to in Waiting to Exhale. I don't think I remember.
I'm trying to think long and hard too.
I gotta look at it.
Okay, so let me share this. Let me pull this up. And this goes to exactly what Dana was just talking about. Hold on.
I thought I was about to say, I think we summed up Waiting to Excel with that last conversation with Babbage. Because everybody remember that car fire scene, honey, with Angela Bassett.
Okay.
Correct. Okay. This kind of
leave me for a white woman.
I'm definitely Robin. I'm probably Robin, unfortunately.
What, Leela Rashawn?
I was Robin at many points, and
haven't we all been just done? Well, hold up, with a married man?
Yeah, no.
You want to have that conversation tonight?
Maybe we had that conversation another day, honey, because I have stories.
Right.
And no regrets.
Okay. Can y'all hear it?
No, ma'am.
Can you hear it?
No.
It's really low. It's really low.
They playing with me.
This is why you need headphones, TJ.
I'll get them the
Turn
next
your
time.
computer up. Your computer volume.
I did. It ain't working. Let me try one more again. Cause you heard that, right?
I heard that noise.
Yeah.
Lucky you were so messy.
Kiss my behind.
Right after she got there, she found out she was 3 months pregnant. He ended up dumping the woman. He said his kids would be too hurt if they left him. So what about the baby? So she had an abortion. She never ever told a soul. Not even her mama. She never looked at men quite the same again. So he left his wife in the end, right? Take a wild guess, Savannah. What show did you hear this on? Sorry. I've never been on Oprah.
Eugene says that Robin is basically Samantha. Well, that's a good point. Because we kind of didn't get to, but Samantha, she comes off as, in control. But she was like insecure as all get out. I'm just saying. She was.
How so? Samantha, how so?
Because she always felt like she had to compete with the other women for validation.
What other women?
Even like, you remember the episode of the modelizer, and the guy who was videotaping, he only videotaped models.
Oh yeah. But I don't. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Let me not try to spin that.
Thou overcompensates.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the episode where she was taking the naked portraits of herself and showing the people, and then the man that came in with the food, and she was like, "You see this? Look at me naked." He was like, "It's all right," and she was like, "No, look at it closer, sir."
And then she fell in love with Richard and got her heart broken.
Yeah.
Yes. But see, here's the thing. My father said it's all a crapshoot. It is. It just really is. And you don't have to take a chance. Okay, so let me see if this comes up, because again, and I identify with this because Lord have mercy. Man, there was this guy I dated early on, and he just wasn't it. He was kind of chubby and stuff, but he was really nice. But I just couldn't. I couldn't. I tried
TJ,
really
are
hard.
me you the only ones drinking, or am I the only one drinking tonight?
No, I had my cocktail. It was up here.
It's gone.
Courtney?
It's gone. Okay.
Mine is gone.
I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward. I'm gonna go ahead. Okay.
I ain't seen
Samantha
nobody
was
taking
sexually
no
liberated.
pics.
She was sexually liberated, but I believe she was insecure, me personally.
Well, okay, TJ, can we have another show about that? Because this is the probably third time I've heard that this week, and I want to unpack that.
What, being sexually liberated?
Not Samantha specifically, but being like insecurity and sexually liberated, like how
that manifests.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll probably do it on my channel too. But I was on Dana's show and someone left a comment and it was like, Lauren seems insecure. Like, not, but obviously there's a lot of people that say things about me. I don't care. But I find that very interesting. Yeah. I find it very interesting. We'll get into it. Like sexual liberation and insecurities, and are there parallels in like what is that? So
I think that's a great topic for y'all to discuss, because I
Mhm.
think there is a parallel there, because you're trying to be validated, but you're doing it kind of like in all the wrong ways. But that is a way for people to validate themselves being sexual with multiple whole bunch of partners.
Well, in trying to be in control, and I'll just be honest. I remember when I was in college. I mean, I didn't date a lot of guys, but I dated some, and I had a saying. I would say I've spotted my prey. I'm going in for the kill.
Well, dating and sleeping are two different things. So
And then the thing but here's the thing: I would put it out like I did not care,
Right.
because it's a way you can still seem like you're maintaining control if they really don't want to be with you. Well, I didn't want you anyway. So that's what I'm saying. But I was, I was cute now, but I was insecure as a mug. I just was. But again, I will put this out like, see me, love me, here I am. And then I remember saying one time, this guy I, hooked up with, I'm like, I hope you respect me in the morning, but if you don't, thank you. I know that's stupid.
You being real tonight. You being real tonight.
I
That's
mean,
real.
But that's real though. That's so real.
I would say, and I said, I hope you respect me in the morning, but if not, thank you.
You are
because in those days we thought that we was being a player and we thought we was in control, but truthfully, you losing yourself every time.
Every
you losing
time.
a part of yourself every time.
Back up just a little bit.
I think so, Dana. Okay.
I don't have one night stands, and I was so much in control, and I had no regrets. It wasn't an insecure thing. I just wanted to get laid. That's it.
Okay, that's valid.
Well,
we can unpack that, Dana.
Unpack that. We're going to unpack that on a different
show.
Unpack
that. Really, you said.
And I actually said this. I told this story on Star in the Morning. And of course, men take it and twist it and run with it. But at another show, I'll unpack that.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a lot of unpacking to do.
Well, because I want to speak on that too. So we should.
Me too.
This is gonna be good.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go ahead and skip to, since I can't get the sex. I mean the what you call them. Now I want to get into the Sex in the City reboot, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that because we talked about, and also Dana sent me a clip today too that I really want. Because again, when this came out in 98, I was 31-ish and living the life. And now let's fast forward. These ladies are at my age.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's real. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on Carrie and Mr. Big. There's a clip here that really resonates with me concerning this couple. Hold on a minute. Let me share my screen. It really resonates because, again, I'm 55. And many of my friends that, got married in college or got married early, they've been married 20 plus years. This is their life. Can y'all hear that? You can't hear it?
No.
Not really.
Close my eyes and we're dancing. I close my eyes, but I can't sleep.
You're gonna go to bed now, right?
Pray I drift away before the sunrise. I'm not big on goodbyes. I can hold you for a minute in my dream. Never die, never mind. Oh, what I'd give to kiss your lips and spin you around one more time. I'm still holding on to the moments we were given. I miss your love. See, I know what it's like to love someone so much. I feel like I can't. It just completely consumes me. I've had my own Mr. Big, and that's the pilot. That's the pilot.
Okay.
Just like that. And it loved so much it just ached. But that's not the way it's supposed to be, though.
Says who?
Says me.
Okay. So that's
me.
That's not the way it's supposed to be for you. Yeah.
For me. I mean, it should.
Life happens just like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I miss your light shining in the kitchen.
And for the record, Mr. Big was toxic.
New York? The same without you.
You're the Chrysler Bill.
What you say?
For the record, Mr. Biggs, they're toxic.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking with the pilot. I was
You're
very
gonna make me binge watch this because I gotta binge watch it.
Sex in the City, Melissa?
No, I whispered it like on the download, very afraid after Lauren said she never saw Golden Girls, but y'all didn't hear it. So I was like, okay, I ain't gonna say it again.
Lauren wasn't even born when the Golden Girls came out, so I understand that.
I have never seen a full episode.
So it's a great show.
It is.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
It is. So let's continue. This is when he married somebody else.
Natasha.
Ooh.
Life's too short. What are we doing?
Very toxic.
You're an angel, you know that.
You made every street.
How you kid? Interesting dress.
Meaning?
Interesting dress.
Do you notice anything special?
Those blue shoes are the whole ball game.
Oh, and she got jilted.
I was going to get these to you.
I don't think he's toxic.
Remember that.
It's all that back and forth. That's toxic, Courtney. It's all that back and forth.
Yeah, but he wasn't toxic because the man was honest.
No,
no. We really don't have to unpack that. It don't matter.
Can we have
I'm with Courtney. If he laid it out and told her, because I don't watch, but if he laid it out and she participated, that's her.
No, I think. Okay, I guess TJ won't play this whole damn thing, but we can unpack it. But he was. It's like if you laid it out and you don't want XYZ, stop coming back to me or stop playing mind. He played mind games when he died.
How?
Well, it's like you left $1 million to your ex-wife charity. What? And I didn't know about it. It's just like it's and no
mind game.
Said it. Yeah, the
mind games.
Like I don't think he was he was honest. She just she couldn't get enough.
He wasn't honest about that.
And the reason why I have a problem with this is because I identified it. Because again, my Mr. Big was honest with me up front.
Okay.
But and again, I was the fool to keep going back. But if you know. Sometimes if the person can't save themselves, but if you say you love them, and why are you going to keep allowing them to hurt themselves? If you know that they are not strong, because again, I understand he was upfront. He was. He said he wanted to date other women, and I thought that I could deal with that.
Moments with Micki said toxic men use honesty to their advantage. Exactly.
Yeah, but again,
I disagree.
Yes, and they use that.
If I'm honest with you and you want to ride this ride, knowing in our history, even there was an episode when she had the book signing and she was on the train with Samantha, wanting to go have sex with Mr. Big. Y'all remember that? Right. And he read all those books and really saw in real time. He was like, man, I really hurt you, didn't I? I didn't know I was doing all this to you.
Because
I just want to have sex with you. He was like, you want to do this again with me? Like after I read this and knowing how you felt, you want to have sex?
Yes, I'm horny. That's two different things.
He was like, yeah, I don't care. I was just playing. Come lay on me, Mr. Big. She's the problem. He done told her, "Hey, lady, I didn't know I hurt you, and you still want to have sex with me, knowing that I hurt you? I feel bad."
Let's role play, Courtney, because I'm gonna be like, bitch, you knew you hurt me. Stop playing games with me. But I'm over you, and I'm horny, and I'm going to use you for that thing, for that dick. So yes.
Yeah, and then what happened?
That's a Jedi mind trick because you convince yourself it's just the DIC. But you know good and damn well that your heart is still in it.
She
Your heart
wanted
is
to
still
start
in
up
it.
that relationship again because
You
after
know.
she had sex with him, and at the end of the show, she was all like, maybe it'll be a thing with me and him again. Harry got the problems.
Yep. The hope syndrome.
He didn't help.
He didn't help.
So, okay, the reason I want to look at this last part here. Look at this last part.
Keep going all the way. All the way.
I'm trying to get to the part, you know.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
I think it's here.
Girl, I want Gary.
Get in.
And the reason why I wanted to, because I have had, when this show came out in my 30s, I couldn't have envisioned down the line with many of my friends, because some of my friends have lost their spouses. Mm-hmm. We're all in the same age group. You know, several people that I went to college with, you know, were married, they're gone. And you think about aging, and and going back to what we were talking about before, as far as marriage is an accomplishment. For me, I wanted it. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to know what it felt like to have it for however long I'm still going to be on this earth. I wanted that for me. Mm-hmm. And to see some of my friends who have lost, you know, people we grew up together. And those things, when you're in your 30s, you think you got all the time in the world until you wake up and then you're 40. Mm-hmm. You wake up and then you're 50.
I still think I got all the time in the world.
And
okay, you thinking that works.
Girl, I'm like, just real quick, because honey, my Mr. Biggs, I gotta say the N word. You can say nigga on YouTube. You can say nigga on
YouTube. Say that. They ain't gonna ask you for that. You can say nigga.
Nigga.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
You thought I went to brunch with a dude Sunday, and you was like, "Oh my God!" Even though you don't want a relationship, blah blah blah. And I played it along to make him think that was with two girls. And then I told him that. But then this bitch, I called him yesterday. He was like, "Oh, text me back." He was like, "I'll call you tomorrow." What, bitch? Are you? And it because he never did that. So now we playing that game. I was just like K. I didn't even say okay. I just had the K, right? And he called me 10 o'clock this morning. I didn't pick up, and I'm not picking up. I'm not going to speak to him for the whole week.
Y'all are toxic. You toxic. You, Madam Dana. You. It's toxic.
Okay? Dana know it.
Dana know it. That's why she's laughing.
She know it.
I think it was on my show with me and Lauren. I said that is embarrassing for my age, but I don't know.
That means, to me, it means he's playing games. To me.
It don't matter. I'm not calling.
They both playing games.
And and so when we get in our 40s and stuff, you know, that shit is tiring.
Oh,
ain't it?
Not
ain't it? She like, no.
Dana's like, I'm having fun actually. So.
Right, this is fun.
And remember, I said I call him Baby Love. That's my big boy. We broke up over a month ago. He was like, don't call or text me. I was like, K with the K, not the O. You don't get the OK, you get the K, because people get upset when you do the K.
Right.
And then he texted me last week on Facebook Messenger, oh, I really do miss you. I was like, I miss you too.
Courtney, it's Dana.
I did.
But it's her.
It's Dana.
And it's like, and he didn't really hit me back because he thought I was going to pick up that phone call. I'm not calling you. No, you reached out to you. Call me because I want my Rodcaster.
I think it's a New York thing because them New Yorkers love that little extra.
Because you could tell when she switched, she code switched. She said, and then she
she smacked her lips like,
listen.
It is a split person because when I'm with a man, yeah, I'm feminine, nice. I do talk nice. But this is how I'm feeling inside. Like, don't play with me. Like, that's not, yeah. And I have to say it out loud sometimes to release it.
And see, and that's, I know that's why I love Dana, because it's true. Like I am one of those people. I'll be honest. Call me whatever y'all want to call me. Was it Sex and the City's point? I know how to, play the game, right? Just follow suit. Do what you need to do. But when I'm not around you, my guy, if I'm upset, you're going to hear it. Like, So I mean, I feel you, Dana.
And Leo Queen was like, "Love the yes." I'm petty Peggy. I'm petty Peggy. I'm very petty, and I need to grow up, but I don't know.
And I'm a crazy girl from Miami, so I don't hold none of that in. I'm toxic in person. That's my thing. I'm tearing everything up. This entire house. So what was that? Angela Bassett, and what was her character in the old movie?
Bernadine.
Bernadine. I'm Bernadine.
Yeah,
I will light this whole place up. Try me.
Crazy. Wow.
Crazy.
I've mellowed out in my old age because I would wreck the buffet. I would wreck the whole buffet. But now I've mellowed out. So let's segue into this last one here. Kristen Davis talks back about the critics for her age, about aging. This is serious, and this kind of talks about what the manosphere is talking about. And I hate it, but there's such a double standard when it comes to women aging versus men.
Yep.
It's a double standard.
I think it's true, though.
It is true, damn it.
I know.
It is. Here we go. Just a second. We almost about to wrap it up. And we're going to close out with some Golden Girls. It's going to make us laugh. We need it. Okay, here we go.
Good. Okay. We're going to move on now to our GMA cover story. Sex and the City star Kristen Davis is calling out people online for, quote, hurling bombs at her about how she's aged in the show's new chapter, and just like that. Deborah Roberts has the story. Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning, George. Yeah, when it was a hit show back in the late 90s, Sex and the City caused a bit of a stir with its edgy storylines and unapologetic female characters. Well, now it's creating a different kind of buzz, and much of it is mean-spirited, aimed at the age and appearance of those female characters. And it's leading some of them to call out what they see as a sexist culture aimed at women on screen.
Most men are threatened by successful women.
For actress Kristen Davis, comments about her performance may come with stardom, but ugly anonymous jabs at her appearance are another thing entirely.
Carrie, party of three?
56-year-old Davis, who originated the character Charlotte York on Sex and the City in 1998, calling out social media trolls for hurling bombs about her looks now, telling the Times UK, everyone wants to comment pro or nay or whatever on our hair and our faces and our this and our that. The level of intensity of it was a shock. The actress going on to say, I feel angry and I don't want to feel angry all the time, so I don't look at it. I just know it's there. With its reboot called And Just Like That, the show hasn't shied away from tackling issues they're facing as women now in their 50s.
I just think the gray ages you. No, you think the gray ages you. Because if we're friends and I'm this age, you can't be whatever age you're pretending to be.
Before the new series dropped last week, star Sarah Jessica Parker, now 56, weighed in on what she called misogynist chatter about the actress's looks, telling Vogue, everyone has something to say. She has too many wrinkles. She doesn't have enough wrinkles. It almost feels as if people don't want us to be perfectly okay with where we are. Adding that men don't face the same kind of scrutiny.
Harry was...
Okay, thoughts?
Men don't. Men don't face
I'm
it.
sorry. I have a different perspective. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Like, I can't help but to like point out the fact that these are white women and they're getting airtime about the fact that no one wants them because they're or no one wants to see them. I mean, sure, let's have the conversation, but let's have the I mean, like, Melissa, do you get where I'm going?
That don't be us. That don't be us.
I don't have any sympathy.
That is not my problem.
I don't.
I do not understand. But yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Courtney.
Yeah, I'll say. Well, I actually think the women look good for their age, and I was actually looking at Charlotte. You know, I could tell she had work done, which I was like, I mean, I don't think that she needed it. I think they all look they're mid-50s,
right.
So I expect wrinkles. I know, and I'm one to say, you know, the black don't crack, and I think our melanin preserves us a lot more. However, when we get to a particular age, whether it's wrinkles, whether we let ourselves go, whether it's gray, women in general, it's a noticeable difference of older women. And even at our age, if I tell a man I'm 38, I get a, ooh. I don't even have to look it, but me even saying my age is a, so women get it. And we have to realize that the older that we get, our sexual value goes down.
I want to point this out.
That last part I disagree, but
I hear you. I hear you in that. Yeah. Well, I for one, I thought they looked great. I didn't have a problem with it. But it's interesting. I'm reacting to like it being this big thing in the news, right? This whole like let's not. Y'all did this to yourself because y'all don't like the way y'all look, so you get surgery. Take Felicia Rashad, for example. Like there have been many black actresses that started when they're younger and they go on screen when they're older, and all we do is celebrate them, right? That's our culture. You don't like there has never been any news stories about black actors and actresses aging. We ain't said nothing about Denzel. We ain't said Cicely Tyson. And she on here in her 90s, you know what I mean? And so now all of a sudden we need to everybody up in arms. Let's talk about like whiteness.
Right.
And let's talk about why whiteness is no longer acceptable when they're older. Like I think, and this is also coming because of my like what I do for a living, and I'm always talking about race and stuff. But like for me, I can't really have a all moment of like, yes, let's have this conversation of ageism. Ageism is a thing. I'm not negating that it's not. But as a black woman, it's like, well, welcome. Like now you're woke. Now you're awake. Now you see that life happens. It happens to us. But what do we do as a community? Like we embrace it. We invite it. We celebrate it. So
look what they're doing to Leela Rashawn.
Oh, because she
dogging her out because she obviously is aged. She's picked up some weight because she has some immune deficiency. But they're dogging her out and she doesn't look like she did in Boring.
She does have a pre-existing condition.
Right. But it don't matter because she doesn't look the same. So any excessive change, black or white, it's going to be like, oh, they let themselves go.
That's true. That's true.
So we can't negate that.
Is it the problem that I had? They looked old and they had on TV makeup. TV makeup covers that, and it did not. I could tell Charlotte, the woman who plays Charlotte, she had a little lift, and it's not wrong with that. She looked fine. Sarah Jessica Parker, her natural look is an old look. That's just genetic.
She always look old. Her hand,
So and then the makeup just it helped her a little bit, but yeah, it's just like it's life. It is life, but I didn't think with the television makeup that you would see through that, and that made me feel better because it's like that's why I'm glad I'm black.
Well, maybe it was on purpose.
No.
Well, why not? Because if you look at Miranda, the redhead, and she went completely gray, she could have stayed red. So it could be on purpose. And quite frankly, I mean, Miranda and Jessica Sarah Parker, these aren't beauty queens. Like, let's be honest. They ain't never was cute on the show, whether they was 25, 35, 45, 55. They ain't never been cute.
Yeah.
especially that Miranda. I mean, I like her, but let's be honest, they ain't beauty queens.
Well, I was having a talk with Courtney earlier today, and I think this may not be popular, but I can just go ahead and use myself as an example. In as much as they have aged in their faces, but even when back in '98, you can see Sarah Jessica Parker had wrinkles, had crow's feet then.
Yeah.
So, but what is interesting is they've gotten older, and many white women do. They still say small.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
Where the bomb at? Boom.
We don't. Let's keep it one thou wow, shall we?
I see a lot of plenty of fat women, but fat white women.
Generally speaking, because I see them a lot too. They still very petite. Them popped out
television.
No. I'm talking
I mean,
around. I see daily. But
in my neighborhood in Nashville, those white girls is jogging with that ponytail swinging.
Listen, don't it?
Okay,
so
but how old are they?
Some of them,
they're
40s, some of them 40s.
These
50s.
white women are on the track doing these marathons in the gym. They are.
Well, is it because
we don't have no wrinkles, but we fat as hell? Keep it one thou wow, shall we?
But is it because they know that facial looks, their look just drops, so they need to keep at least that body type? First of all, Black women are curvy, so it doesn't. And I get it. Like when you do see some Black women, yes, Black women do gain weight, and it is an exercise thing or whatever. But let's just be superficial with this segment of conversation. White women do age badly and Black women don't. So if I'm aging badly, at least let me keep my body in shape. That's probably how they're thinking.
Well, I don't know how to think about it. I'm just saying how I look. And I'm not just casting aspersion because I was one of them. And I had to get myself together because my face was cute, but I have extra. And when you get older, it takes extra to get it off.
True.
So, but and part of it is genetics. As far as Black women, I mean, I've always been curvy, but even when I was curvy in my 20s, I wasn't weighing what I'm weighing. So that to me, that's an excuse, and I'm saying it for myself.
Well, first of all, Courtney already said I was toxic, which is true. So
yes,
I'm giving.
I did say that.
I'm giving excuses because I have to get in the gym. Yes, and I'm giving excuses because I don't feel like getting in the gym. I am that Black woman that's going to give excuses because I hate working out, but I have to because I refuse to go into the light of aging, looking a hot mess. I have to look fabulous. In order for me to look fabulous, I have to get my body. The face is straight, it's just the body, and I don't like working out.
Yeah. I mean, so I get, and again, it's not casting aspersion, but I think our skin is great and smooth, but there's some other things that we don't age as well.
I think we talked about it on my channel too, TJ. I think we discussed it on my channel about how we celebrate obesity a lot. I mean, it is what it is, but a lot of us are obese, and culturally, some cultures celebrate thickness, where I don't necessarily think, generally speaking, Caucasians do that as well. It's like, oh my God, you got a big butt, and then go lose it. But with us, it's like, yeah, hey, and so what? I mean, I see the TikTok, it's a new trend. She like, you gonna get this body, which is fine, but it's not. So it's not. It's fine, but it's not.
Yeah. And I think about Lizzo. Like, Lizzo has a cute face, but that ain't getting her no damn well. And as a matter of fact, I would think men would prefer an average face to a tight body than a beautiful face with 400, 300 pounds.
Yeah.
But Courtney, to that, and I'm glad you brought up Lizzo because I think genetically people are probably just big in her family.
Yeah.
The problem I have with Lizzo, I love the fact that she's comfortable in her skin. Love it.
But is she
I don't want to see your ass and
behind off the camera.
It's like that Sarah Barton
get on a track.
Right. It's like the Sarah Barton stereotype.
Yeah.
Like you moonshining, you twerking, like stop showing your bare ass.
Just cover it up.
Even if she was a size 2, why do you have to shake it? But you are a size 30.
Facts.
32.
35.
90. But I said that she's not very confident either because after all that shaking, she gets the backlash, then she come back crying. And no, that's a whole nother live, y'all.
She's not comfortable. And
she is not comfortable.
I'm sorry. I understand body positivity. But if you think that any woman that's really overly obese is comfortable in their bodies, I completely disagree. They're not. Your body wasn't made for that. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I got 20 pounds to lose. This shit ain't comfortable. I hate not my shirts that I used to wear and I can't. That shit ain't comfortable.
Listen.
I'm mad. I'm pissed off. Damn shirt I can't wear no more.
Yeah, and it's definitely harder. It's definitely harder the older you get.
Look,
So
I'm sorry. I
We're
just want to tell a secret real quick because I love buying shoes. I bought these Rhyan boots.
Them calves said no.
Girl. That thing ain't zipping up.
I said I'm gonna give you these boots. I bought you these. I don't like you, Melanie.
Lizzo ain't no 18, 20 now. Now you know that's a good 20.
Y'all, Lizzo is not 30. No, she is not 18.
300 pounds. It's just too much.
Yeah, whatever she is.
It's just too much. Like, come on.
Again, she's not happy with that because if she was, she would have, she says that she wants a man. And apparently, a man does not want to engage in that. And again, I had to kind of grow myself real because again, and that, again, going back to the as you get older, stuff start creaking.
Mm-hmm.
You get up and your knees, creak. I mean, hey, so Dana, you got some time, but I'm telling you, it's coming, and it's coming.
I hear the creaks.
I got in shape in 2019 and getting cut, and then the pandemic hit.
Listen.
And I'm just like, wow, okay. In 2021, I saw the results of the pandemic. It's like,
girl.
And it's like, yo, you hate to work out. So it's a mind over matter thing.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get, and then it's like, ooh, and it goes off slow now.
It's very.
When I tell you I gained 5 pounds looking at a cheeseburger, I don't even have to eat it. I look at it and I be like, darn, did a button pop?
It's
and
crazy.
I can't even look at it no more.
The more weight you got on you, the less acrobatics you can do in the bedroom. Just keep it one foul wow here. And like you can't move it. Oh, I can't do it this way because my knee hurt. I'm just saying.
Well, let me tell you something. Y'all can say whatever you want to about that April Mason. But that thing got a pole in that room. That thing is in shape. And I aspire to be like that in my 40s.
Good money for it too.
Her body?
I don't have nothing against that. When you get a certain age, in 2020, next year's 2023, I'm going to go under the 9th. And I think when you get a certain age, you should, just little tweak. And in my late 50s, probably 60s, I make a little lift and, suck this out. But I don't have a problem with that. But don't front act like you was in the
gym. Got it naturally.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I bet not see her doing no tummy tea because I'm going to be like, no, ma'am. You got that sucked out. You ain't drank it off.
It's funny how Lauren quiet because she's 30 and her weight could just fly off.
It doesn't.
Hold up. What you mean he shamed you to get it off? You mean just
my man needs to be able to pick me up.
Probably his
metaphorically. Commentary.
His commentary.
Oh.
His commentary.
Oh, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
Not gonna call him today.
Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, so lastly, Golden Girls. This came out in 1985. I graduated from high school in 1985. So I was 18. Watching this with my aunt and my mom. My aunt reminded me of Dorothy. But see, I don't have a problem with the idea because see, all these women, only one of them was divorced. Dorothy was divorced after 38 years. All the rest of them, their husbands died. And they thought, to come together to support each other and live together as roommates. Now, when this came out in 1985, I'm 18. What the hell? I'm thinking, that's a long time ago. I got to think about that. I need to think about it. Those are things I have to think about now. Because it's not, when you are young, you think, oh, that's a long way down the line. And then you look up and it ain't.
Something like that.
So fine, but I love Dorothy. So we're going to end it here with some levity. Now, who's never seen Golden Girls? Okay.
What? Melissa?
What year were you born? Lauren, you were born in what, 85? Or what year were you born?
Who is, you said, I've seen, did you? Okay,
I have not seen
Okay,
Golden
I'm sorry.
Girls.
I have seen it. I thought y'all was very, I'm sorry. No, I love Golden Girls. I grew up on that.
But what year
have you seen it?
Lauren?
90.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah.
My daughter was born in 94. But she watches it because I was watching it last night this morning trying to find a clip. Picture it. Sicily.
That's it. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to end with Dorothy. She is hilarious. I'm going to share this. And Rose is so damn dumb.
I love Rose. I got the Rose hair. I got Rose Nylon hair.
Okay, so this is the top 10. So I'm just going to do the last one. This was hilarious to me.
I heard Dana say it good.
Now Melissa being petty and toxic.
Ann and I went through a period where we had no marital relations at all. I totally cut off his sex.
You mean it grows back?
Yo, she was serious.
Yes, Rose. He's a lizard.
She have a serious face.
I know. That's what cracks me.
I don't know how they.
I don't even know how they would keep a straight face because I was hollering last night. She said, it grows back.
And serious.
So you got, okay, Laura, Melissa, if you want to have some laughs, some mindless laughter, watch you some Golden Girls.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to binge it. I have next week.
Yeah,
I'm going to binge it.
Classic.
I will be crying. Well, thank you, ladies. It's been fun. So now, Laura, Melissa, you'll do the next segment so we can unpack that other stuff. So we'll do another 3 hours.
No, it won't be 3. It would be a little less than that. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about, I wrote it down, sexual liberation and insecurities.
Absolutely.
Especially, I think you all would have a lot to say or contribute to the conversation because when you often think of sexual liberation, it is often attributed to the younger generation or like with it being out there so much. And I think that we should just talk about it. So, yeah.
Let me know when. But thank you all, ladies, for coming and joining us. I think it was fun. It went a little longer, but it was a lot of stuff to talk about. The common theme is these girlfriends.
Yeah.
And all of them, 4 girlfriends, from ranging from now 2021 going back to 1985, but some of the same issues that we hear now in this manosphere.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I know everybody got to go, but Dana, you were supposed to tell me something today.
Oh,
so everybody can go, but Dana got something to tell me.
No, I can
tell C-Dog.
When I said that you made me cry.
Well, first you said you ain't like me. And you thought I was pick me.
Okay, so let me go back from the beginning.
That's what you said.
What the hell?
That's what you said. So yeah, because I saw you on Lapeef, and you used to always be raving about KC, honey. That's why.
KS.
Okay, KS. This is KS. And I'm like, she probably a pick me. She's nice, but she'll pick me. Mm-hmm. And then somebody DM me on Instagram, like, oh, you should check her out or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, I've seen her on Lapeef, but she'll pick me because she always praising KS, right? And then he sent me the video clip, and that's when you had your own Squirrel Off show on Lapeef. And I watched it. Girl,
which show was this?
It was your own separate. It was the show you did with your baby father.
Oh.
Girl, I was watching it. It wasn't long. It was like, what, 15, 20 minutes? Had a tear rolling down my eye. I said, that goddamn Courtney. First of all, I didn't know you had a child. So I was like, okay. So then that's made me relate because you had a kid as opposed to someone who didn't have a kid and praising KS. So it's like, okay, so now I get it, right? Her perspective. But listening to your correspondence, I related to that with my son father. And it made me feel good. And it's like your two relationship is nowhere near with me and my, because me and my, we don't talk. And it made me like, damn, I wish that me and him was there. But for y'all to get there, all that stuff that y'all went through to get there, I've been through that. So that it was so relatable. Yeah, it was tears coming down my damn because you started crying.
I did.
And I said, that goddamn Courtney. I like her. Oh my God, I love Courtney.
Yeah, well, you got to get to know me. I'm definitely not a pick me.
No, you're not. And that's what I'm saying. You wasn't. I was like, I had her wrong.
Yeah. So yeah,
wait.
I'm gonna do a show on that.
Right. Yeah, you should, because I thought you were, but yeah, anybody, because I look at anybody that praise KS. I be calling them pick-me's because I
got my first super chat.
You I didn't know you get super chats now.
Super chat.
Oh, you get it.
Yeah.
My first super chat.
Well, that's right. You said you just got monetized for that.
That's right.
Aww.
But I didn't know it was already up now, because sometimes it takes a little time before you.
Yes, child.
So that's good. Congratulations. Oh, you got to cry. She crying. You cried. I always cry.
Yeah, and that's why I was just like, God damn it, Courtney. But I totally related to that. And it's like, even when he said, I'm proud of you, and you was like, I want to apologize. And he was like, I accept your apology, but there's no need for that. Like, we're good. And he was like, I'm proud of you. So it's like y'all have something that I wish that me and my son father would come to a conclusion. But it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Courtney.
I appreciate that. But you're right. Now, it took a lot of work. A lot of work.
Yeah. A lot of growing up. Yeah.
But yeah, Dan, I'm gonna get you on my show because I think we disagree a lot.
Therapy session. I probably need therapy. It's going to end up being a therapy session.
No, it ain't. But I love your perspective because it's different from mine. But I think there's a lot in common, which makes it fly.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So and it ain't no petty crap. You can disagree and not get crazy with it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all so much. This was fun.
This was very fun.
Super chat too. What? And thank you for my Cash App, Asia. Appreciate you. All right, y'all have a good night. I'm going to get me some dinner and I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you, TJ.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.